Lieutenant Marshall, can I help you?
Yeah, hey, Lieutenant Marshall, it's Jason Ward. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How about yourself today?
Doing good. I got to tell you, I'm recording our conversation here, as I did with, I guess it's Sergeant Murphy was the last person I spoke with.
Okay. I mean, it's illegal out of D.C. to tape, but I've got to get this interview done. You're living in Colorado now, correct?
I
can't do this face-to-face. So,
yeah, I've always lived in Colorado. I come to D.C. twice a year to host a protest.
All right. I got about a couple questions to ask you, follow to the incident, and then
Sure.
the last question I'm going to ask you is there anything else you would like to add regarding the incident? The first question we'll go with is, why were you at the Washington Monument on April 20th?
We go to the Washington, actually the Sylvan Theater, April 20th, and then again in the fall every year to protest the drug policy with a focus on cannabis and medical cannabis.
Now, this protest, are you protesting to what is the protest about?
The protest is about a lot of things. It's about the failed drug policy. It's, about millions of innocent, well, in my mind, innocent, nonviolent drug offenders sitting in prisons. It's about the federal government intervening in states' rights issues here in Colorado with our medicine. It's about the federal government having legal dispensaries in Washington, D.C., which is a federal territory, when it's illegal under federal law. There's a lot
I'm
of
not
issues.
getting into your First Amendment rights here. I'm just saying, so you're, if I could sum it up for you, you're for the legalization of marijuana. Is that accurate?
Well, personally, I'm for an end totally to the drug war. I think it's a failure. We have more drugs and more drug users than ever before.
Okay, outside of the drug war, let's just narrow it down. Okay, we're not in a protest here. I'm just saying, is it accurate to say that you're for the legalization of marijuana? Is that what you're trying to say right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm for the legalization of all cannabis and industrial hemp, as well as cocaine, heroin, meth. If we can sell pharmaceuticals, which are basically the same thing like Dilaudid, which is synthetic heroin, then there's no reason why someone can't choose to use that on their own.
Okay. Well, you were at the Sylvan Theater. Were you with a group of 4 males and 1 female?
Absolutely not. I was with a group of everyone, whoever was there.
Group of everyone. Okay.
I am the organizer of the event. I'm permitted through the Parks Police and every other organization of law enforcement that I need to be.
You're what now?
I obtain a permit for every rally we hold.
Oh, yeah, through the National Park Service. I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
When you were at the Sylvan Theater, did an individual who was a male open a cigarette pack near you and retrieve a white object?
Maybe a cigarette.
Okay.
The funny thing with that is that your undercover, who we blatantly pointed out, I would definitely work on that. His undercover wasn't so undercover. He kept claiming that it didn't burn down. Well, I mean, number one, he was 10 foot away. He should have been able to distinguish between a one-hitter pipe and a cigarette. Number two, I smoke American Spirit tobacco, and just a little common knowledge, they burn very slowly.
American Spirit, what's it called? American Spirit?
American Spirit. It's a brand of tobacco.
Right.
It's all natural, no additives, so it burns very slowly.
Did you inhale from the object that the individual retrieved?
No, I sat down under the tree. I was with a female friend. We'd walked to get a pack of cigarettes. I had been running around all day coordinating acts, and I finally got a chance to sit down under a tree and smoke a tobacco cigarette. I am a patient, and as I informed your officers, I had all kinds of meds, but they were in Colorado in my car at the airport.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I got to jump back in there and say that at that point, he claimed over and over again that he saw this one hitter, and told him repeatedly that he did not see a one-hitter, that I was smoking tobacco. And I clarified that, yes, I did have a red card from the state of Colorado and a doctor's recommendation, an optional red card, I should say, but a doctor's recommendation for my ailment to use medical cannabis, but that I choose twice a year to leave that at home and come out for a bigger cause. In that, I invoked my Fourth Amendment right to refuse the search, which he told me I lost because he saw me smoking cannabis. The problem with that, sir, is out of all of us, there was nothing found. Not even the one-hitter pipe that he claimed.
If I could just interrupt, I'm going to ask you a series of questions. When I'm done, I'm going to say, is there anything else?
Sure.
So you can go and tell me other stuff, which I'll record for you. But I just want to make clear, I'm just going to ask a series of questions and go. Let's see. Did you inhale from the object? You did. You had a cigarette, but the object that you had, did that have marijuana in it?
Not unless American Spirit Tobacco Company is putting marijuana in their cigarettes. Came straight from 7-Eleven around the corner, or whatever the store was.
American Spirit puts marijuana in it. Okay.
They do?
That's what you just said. I'm repeating what you just said.
Okay, I was going to say, you might want to call the CEO of the company on that one. They might take offense to that.
Alrighty. Do you feel police officers should not enforce marijuana laws?
I feel not only should officers not enforce cannabis laws, it is your duty under the United States Constitution to not only not enforce an unjust law, but to protect your citizens against an unjust law. Sir, do you feel that you should be arresting people for cannabis?
Well, my opinion is irrelevant in this. It is what the law states. Let's get that clear, okay?
Again, sir.
We're not here. I'm not here to
right.
into your First Amendment rights, sir. I'm here to talk about the encounter and the question I asked.
Okay, and I'm just getting, I guess, clarification, because your question makes no sense to me, because when you first went into law enforcement, and bear with me for a second here, you took an oath to the Constitution, correct?
Sir, we're not getting into this discussion. I'm going to ask you a series of questions,
okay,
and if you want to answer them, that's fine. If you don't, you do not have to.
No, continue.
And then the last question I'm going to ask you, is there anything else you'd like to add to the incident?
Sure. Continue.
No, 1 second. I'm writing right now. We have an obligation. To protect citizens. I'm sorry, because we kind of went back and forth. We have an obligation to protect citizens against these type of searches. Is that what you said?
No, I said when you take an oath as a law enforcement officer to the United States Constitution, you take an oath to not only not enforce unjust laws, but to protect the citizens to which you protect from these unjust laws. Which being, we know cannabis is a victimless substance. It's a non-toxic plant. I mean, and we're putting 1 million people a year or more in prison for a non-toxic plant. So in my mind and the mind of 80% of America, medical cannabis, enforcing laws against such is very unjust.
Okay. Do you feel the police officers do not have probable cause to search individuals if they're smoking marijuana? In other words, do you feel that officers, if they had probable cause to believe somebody was smoking marijuana, that they shouldn't be allowed to search them?
I believe if they have probable cause to believe that someone is breaking a law, that yes, they have the right to search them. That being said, your officer was literally 10 foot away from me and watched me not only open a pack of cigarettes, but pack a pack of cigarettes on my hand before I opened it. Now, somehow, if I mysteriously slipped cannabis into that cigarette, I'm not sure how that happened. But, I mean, in this instance, I'm not talking about generalizations, sir. I'm talking about this instance that happened to myself and the other folks involved. In this instance, no, your officer was way out of line, especially after I exercised my Fourth Amendment right. You guys do need to stick by the Constitution.
Okay, now we're at the last question. Now, is there anything you'd like to add regarding this incident?
Yeah, I mean, I guess to start, just the absurdity. You know, as I said, I am the organizer of this event. For your police officers to think that I'm going to spend hundreds, well, thousands of dollars to travel across the country to jeopardize my license for a medicine that I need is absolutely ridiculous. Number two, as I said, the officer was 10 foot away from us. In my opinion, his incompetence of not being able to recognize the difference between a cannabis pipe and a cigarette should disqualify him for any position relating to anything drug related. You guys have something else to keep in mind is these people that he searched, probably at least half of us depend on cannabis to stay alive. That is something, you know, you guys now have 4 dispensaries licensed and ready to open in D.C. This is something that you guys are going to have to become educated upon, and you're going to have to show compassion to these people and realize that they're sick people. The event itself, you know, multiple times I spoke with police throughout the day and had no issues. When I followed, they originally didn't even pull me out of the crowd, but when I followed them around to see what was going on, that's when your undercover came up and pointed me out. And I'm going to just go through the whole story here real quick, you know, as I did before, or as I touched on. He, you know, questioned me, you know, well, first I asked why they wanted to pull me aside, and he said, because I saw you smoking cannabis. I said, sir, you did not see me smoking cannabis. I was smoking a cigarette. The lady with me reiterated that we had sat down to visit with some folks and we were having a cigarette. That being said, he told me he wanted to search me anyway, and I said, well, I would like to exercise my... Well, I repeated myself time and time again about not smoking cannabis, which he ignored. Then I, you know, tried to exercise my Fourth Amendment right to refuse the search and was denied that because he claimed he saw me smoking cannabis. I think the bottom line here is, you know, they searched 5, 6, 7 of us, I don't remember. They found nothing, not even a crumb of cannabis. And might I also point out, I have severe chronic pain from a failed back operation. I also take narcotics. I take Vicodin. Vicodin is a very bad drug that people die from every single day. The pill abuse problem in this country is ridiculous, as you probably know. When I told them I had a bottle of pills in my bag, they didn't so much, sir, as check my ID to make sure those pills were mine. And I had a good, you know, I get a good quantity of Vicodin. So if I were a dishonest person, I could have been in your city selling Vicodin. They wouldn't have cared about those, but they tore my backpack apart looking for one little crumb of cannabis. I mean, I guess my point being, this whole scenario and situation, I'd like to see this guy put on a desk job because he's obviously not competent enough to enforce laws that are there on the books. You know, if he's out there tackling people for cigarettes and mistaking cannabis for cigarettes, he really has no place in the field. He's not a public servant, and that's another thing. You guys need to realize that you are public servants, sir. I guess all that I ask is, you know, please get some education. There's a great organization there in D.C. called Marijuana Policy Project. I'm sure they would be more than willing. I would put you in touch with my contact there. They'd be more than willing to offer workshops and education. And please, just show some compassion. You guys have patience there now.
Anything else?
No, I mean, I'd love to get your opinion on what transpired.
Okay, I'm not here to give opinion. I'm just here to take the information. I'm going to, from this, complete my investigation, and you'll be contacted on a later date regarding the findings.
Sure. And one other thing, you had mentioned earlier, we record all of our conversations. We are a radio station, and it's part of what sponsors the event out there. That being said, you made a comment about it being illegal in D.C. to record, and I just wanted to inform you that the Supreme Court ruled in the fall of last year that it is completely legal to record or video any government official. So
absolutely.
You're a public official.
Don't get me wrong on that. You can record, you can videotape, and stuff like that. But a person to person, it's illegal, is what I mentioned. But
okay,
anyway,
but to back that up in Colorado, if one person knows, I don't even legally have to tell you we're recording, so long as I know that we're recording. I don't have to say a word to you about it.
That's fine.
So I'm just informing you. Nope, I think that's it, sir.
Have a great day.
You too.
All right, bye-bye.
This is Adam Kokesh, and you're listening to iCannabis Radio.
You're listening to iCannabisRadio.com.
Welcome to Overgrow the Radio. God, it's good to be back.
Good to be back.
How are you?
It seems like forever since we've been here.
I know. We're both all suntan.
I'm a free woman.
You are so free, like a bird. You and Bob both. We're going to talk to Bob at the end of our show tonight. That's exciting.
Yes.
I can't wait to see how he feels. How do you feel?
It takes a while to sink in, to know that this is actually over. And Bob's still, I've been talking to him about that. It takes a while to actually realize that they're not still after me.
Well, at least not on that charge.
At least not on that charge.
Hi, Dan May. We love you. Yeah, one of the first pieces of news we're going to talk about deals with you, so we're going to get to that in a second. The lead-in was actually, for those of you who watch and listen to us regularly, we do Stick Man versus DC or Stick Man versus the government. We never really decided on a name because, there's that side of us that's indecisive. And so that was the follow-up call from the supervisor, lieutenant, whoever, that says he's going to investigate. Said he would contact me at a later date. It hasn't happened yet. I'm sad, but I'm still waiting, and I'm confident that our government will work. And this guy will have his desk job in D.C., as opposed to not being able to identify the difference between a cigarette and one hitter from 5 foot away.
What are people going to do who want to be felt up? I mean...
I as I said before, the head massage, that was good stuff. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Not going to lie at all. So speaking of the feds, this is sort of new breaking news, if you will. We're not really a news program, but we're on top of this one. I read, courtesy of my other half, she keeps me informed sometimes, that the state has the great idea to sell our state parks to the feds.
And that's a terrible, terrible idea, I think.
For many reasons. As a patient in Colorado, anytime I go on federal property, technically I take a chance. Obviously, I have to be able to medicate to go enjoy these federal lands, to be able to walk down the beautiful trail and listen to the birdies. No stoner jokes. And, that just makes it's just one more layer of BS from the feds. They're just being ridiculous at this point.
They're just impeding on our rights is what they're doing.
Yeah, and the article we're going to talk about next is the one where you're quoted in there. I'm going to let you talk about that. But the feds, in that article at the end, they got a shot in at, it's still illegal on federal land to smoke cannabis or use medication. And they lump it in with cocaine and heroin, of course.
Well, and the article we're speaking of was in the Colorado Springs Independent in their blog. And the first part of that article was actually about Facebook, about Dan May's Facebook, and how there's been some recent activity on there. And they actually quoted one of my quotes on there. I said, I have one word for you, Danny boy, karma.
I like the Danny boy. Oh, Danny boy. I wonder what's going through his head right now. 3 acquittals in a month. In the month of June, there were 3 acquittals in El Paso County on MMJ cases.
Well, and the amount of money that he spent on those 3 cases, I know Bob in my case, well, it was 2 years for me. A $700 million plane to fly over. It was ridiculous.
$7 million, but that's still very expensive.
I get carried away sometimes.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, that's just ridiculous. All those SWAT teams.
It's absurd. And I think, one of our projects that the board's talking about that we're working on is finding out those expenses and exposing them. The citizens of El Paso County are very conservative, as we know. And kudos to them for, in that, being, informed enough to acquit both of you guys or find you not guilty.
But I'd like them to turn on the street lights and fill the potholes instead of chase innocent people.
And that's the point. We're going to call them out because we are a conservative community, and our money, that's part of being conservative. That's my conservative side. I'm with you. I'd much rather have my streets patrolled by the police than, flying planes over and sitting on the stand and blatantly lying like 12-year-old school children.
Well, they didn't have time to do a police report for Bob's case until the morning his trial started, and then they added facts to it.
Oh, sure, and I stood in the hallway and watched Sergeant Bain, Sergeant Red, he gets very red.
Yes, he does.
Sergeant Bain and Terry, the prosecutor lady, the young one, Terry Sample, that's her name. She was coaching Mr. Bain the whole, through his whole testimony of what this new report said, because in 14 months the guy couldn't remember, and all of a sudden he wakes up and poof, it's there.
Well, that's because they realized they didn't have a case and they had to add something to it to try and make it stick.
It's the same thing we saw in your case, and in one of the emails that Mark Slaw sends out for our board, he put it great. He said they're just throwing shit at the wall and hoping something sticks.
And that was exactly what they did.
And, the people are done with it. I'm done with it. You're done with it. We're calling them out. El Paso County's calling them out. That article does a great job of saying we're calling them out. Hopefully someone in that office has some frickin' sense and is listening to this. Pardon my French.
Eventually they're going to pay some attention.
Yeah, so...
it sounds familiar, though, as to this other article that we were going to talk about. The one in, I think it's Pinellas County in Florida.
Tampa area. I know it well.
They did some crazy stuff there. They did this 2 to 3 year investigation on a grow shop. So where people go to buy grow lights, they were out in the parking lot taking down license plate numbers and investigating these people, and then they were dressing up like utility workers, pretending and going in people's houses and seeing marijuana, and then they said they had smelled marijuana from the street to get a search warrant, which they lied about.
Yeah, I lived in Florida for almost a decade, split over 2 different time periods, and it's draconian. I mean, there's no other, just to put it blunt, they're idiots. They're stuck in the whole reefer madness. They are all about bringing SWAT teams through your door for a joint. The first time I lived there, I watched a young kid, about 20, lose his car over some crumbs of cannabis on his floorboard. Well, they literally seized it and sold it.
That's ridiculous. They spent a lot of money in El Paso County on me and Bob, but there they have 18 pending marijuana grow prosecutions that have had to be halted because of all this. And they have, they're reviewing charges against at least 24 other defendants who pleaded guilty or were on plea bargains because these police are corrupt.
Well, so what we're seeing there, I mean, they're definitely going after the industry and the patients. There's no question. But maybe what happened with you guys is causing a little bit of a ripple effect of somewhat of reason. Hey, wow, maybe we should slow down and think about this just a little bit because we want to get reelected.
What's interesting in Florida is they spent all this time and energy on this grow store investigation following people who are buying grow lights. And in the meantime, their county became the oxycodone capital of Florida.
Yeah. And even, that's what I was talking about, is even between like here and there, it ties in. Like the resources are focused on cannabis. It's like these law enforcement, it's the right wing of every culture, and it's in every state, no matter how legal and how progressive the rest of the state is. It's like this little vein of conservatives that bleeds into the rest of our opinion and contaminates it. And they have the power, and they have the guns, and they have the badges. They can put you in a cage, and they don't mind doing so.
Yeah, it's scary when the guys with the guns are the ones that are doing all the lying.
And they ignore the pills, like I said in that phone call at the beginning. I had a bottle of meds in my bag, and they ignored it. They didn't check my ID to see if they were mine. And I told them I had them. I was like, hey, man, there's some painkillers in there. You should probably check those. He didn't give a damn about those because Big Pharma pays their salary, and it's handed down from their lieutenants and their, commanders. That's not an issue. It's the cannabis, because it's the cannabis that feeds our prison system. 60% of our prison population is drugs, most of that being cannabis.
Yeah, they were hoping to find a seed. They didn't care about the pills.
Yeah, they could get at least $100 fine for that seed. So yeah, we'll stick on the feds for one more story, I guess. Miss Pelosi, who, I good and bad over her term. She's spoken some strong words, but then not acted on a lot of things, like our fearless leader. But the cool thing about this story is we talked to Dr. Bob a couple of weeks ago with Mr. Crouse, and Dr. Bob has been in D.C. working on this with the feds. It mentions in the article that they're recognizing that it helps HIV and AIDS, and that's the big project he's working with the military and the federal government. So it is getting, it's getting put out there, so they are mentioning it. As with Obama, it's a cautious optimism. I'm not going to be all excited and, hope that it happens, because then it won't happen.
Well, you know what the big story with the feds was today? Harborside.
Yeah, it was. Absolutely. Why don't you tell us about that, because you know more about it than I do.
Okay, so out in California, one of the biggest dispensaries in the country got a cease and desist letter today, and I believe they're trying to seize their property. Mm-hmm. And previously they had said they would leave dispensary medical marijuana alone as long as they were following state guidelines. Well, now all of a sudden they have said, well, this dispensary is too large. What state guideline does that break? What's too large? Who decides that? How can they just arbitrarily say, oh, we don't like you?
Well, that's the scary part, and this is where Harborside has the power and the size, and they have the lobbying power in California. They've got to take a stand. I mean, there's no time like the present, as they say. Somebody has to. It has to happen sometime. The feds. I had a conversation today where someone said, well, anyone that's involved with the business is implicated just as much as someone selling. And I said, well, yeah, and so is the state government and the federal government, because they collect tax money. So at this point in history, the federal government essentially implicates themselves in their own laws. All it's going to take is someone to go into court and point this out, and any judge with common sense has to look at that and change it, period.
Well, I don't get how they can grow and distribute themselves and then charge other people for it.
Yeah, the federal, the experimental drug program, Irv Rosenfeld and the other surviving patients, absolutely. University of Mississippi.
They send people to prison for doing what they're doing.
When they send him, 300 joints every month in a tin? It's horrible cannabis from what I hear, not that I've seen it, because that would be illegal. But it's
not illegal to see it, and I've seen it.
That's true.
Actually, he's actually showed it to me, and it's some of the worst stuff I've ever seen.
I've heard it's like hay.
It with seeds and stems, and yeah, it's nasty.
Ugh. Don't you think they could bring a good grower on at some point? And, someone who knows something? So real quick, we got 2 minutes before break. I just want to thank everybody for, Chris and everybody here at the station who put together the fundraisers with the different businesses in town. Elisa and I both had to leave our homes last week. 2 weeks ago, sorry.
Yeah, we both got evacuated.
For the first time coming home from our vacation this week, I drove down the pass from Woodland Park, and, the left side of the road's gone. I didn't have the heart to go through there until now, and it's not good. So a lot of people, we were both lucky. You have a house.
My house is standing, yes.
I have a house. I'm never at my house, but it's there if I need it. It's there when my girlfriend wants to kick me out. Say go away for a few hours. So yeah, we're lucky, but a lot of folks down there weren't. So everything that the community's donated up here that's going down that way is greatly appreciated. I believe the total count with the houses was 364 houses destroyed.
We're lost, yeah.
So another shout out real quick to, of course, the firefighters and police. We got to mention the police. They did a good job as well.
They did a great job.
The organizations, the Red Cross opening up shelters at the snap of a finger. I mean, this fire moved so quickly that they were just overwhelmed. And I mean, they opened, my other half works with them, and in one night, I think they opened like 4 or 5 shelters.
Well,
that's not easy.
Just the community in Colorado Springs. I know personally, I had so many people call me and want to take us in when we were being evacuated, and I think it says something about the community because a lot of people most people did not use shelters. Most people were taken in by somebody else.
Yeah, me too. I had people I didn't know sending me emails and stuff.
Me too.
So thank you all. We love you. We're going to be right back. We're going to go pay some bills. We'll be right back. Peace.
Peace.
Let's face it, rules and regulations are complicated, especially in the field of medical marijuana. Let Medical Marijuana 101 help you get through the compliance process. We can also explain to you your employment requirements, your employees, and your business. But our work doesn't stop there. Our experience in cultivation ranges from the design of grow rooms to the diagnosis and resolution of grow problems. Visit us at www.medicalmarijuana101.com or call 303-388-7706. That's 303-388-7706.
The Clinic is proud to announce the 3rd annual Clinic Charity Classic Golf Tournament benefiting the Colorado MS Society. The tournament will be held at City Park Golf Course this coming August 11th. There will be some incredible prizes, including an opportunity to win a trip for 2 to Hawaii. The trip includes airfare, 8 days, 7 nights at the Ritz-Carlton Kapalua, including 4 rounds of golf and $1,500 spending cash. Thanks to the incredible support of Weed Maps, Hetty Glass, Rocky Mountain Hydro, T. Meyer & Stitch, Dixie Elixir, and MMJPrinting.com, we're able to provide awareness to this incredibly difficult condition that so many Coloradans are suffering from. The event will be covered extensively by our favorite industry media outlets, Culture Magazine, The Hemp Connoisseur, Kush Magazine, and of course the amazing people at iCannabis Radio. Please register at thecliniccolorado.com or at any of our 6 convenient locations throughout the Denver metro area.
The law offices of Edson Maton and Matz provide criminal defense, medical marijuana defense, and advice about setting up and running medical marijuana centers, optional premises cultivation operations, and infused product manufacturing businesses throughout Colorado. With offices in Denver and Aspen, we can offer assistance throughout the entire state of Colorado. Give us a call at 303-831-8188. That's 303-831-8188. Or visit us online at warrenedson.com.
California's Attorney General has determined that the Repeal Cannabis Prohibition Act will save hundreds of millions of dollars from our overburdened justice system while creating hundreds of millions in new tax revenues from new sustainable jobs and industries that are friendly to our environment. But we can't do it without your help. We are seeking your donations to get on the ballot. Please go to repealcannabisprohibition.org to learn more about how you can help. It's time to end the war on cannabis and hemp in California. It's time to end the madness. Paid for by Sensible Californians Incorporated.
Hi, I'm Josh Stanley.
And I'm Jesse Stanley.
2 of the brothers here from National Geographic's American Weed, and we'd like to invite you to come into our dispensaries in Colorado Springs. Come in for the most pure organic strain selection in Colorado. It's all hand-grown by the Stanley brothers, especially for our patients. So come in and visit us at our 2 locations, East Platte and West Colorado. And remember,
always be kind to each other.
Are you a medical marijuana patient or interested in finding out how to become one? Contact Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern. Conveniently located on Hamden and Tamarack in the Whole Foods parking lot behind Proof of the Pudding. Mile High Wellness offers a wide variety of edibles, hashes, and some of Colorado's top strains. Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern. 3525 South Tamarack, Suite 110, on the corner of Hamden and Tamarack. 720-382-8516. Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern.
Are you a runner? Are you a runner who supports marijuana legalization? Run on Grass is a group of athletes actively seeking to change our marijuana laws. We speak the truth about cannabis, bringing the message through our feet to new ears. Check out runongrass.com to find out more about us, our events, and how to join up or how to sponsor a runner. If you're in the Denver area, please join us for runs or start a group in your area. Running not your thing? Any sport can do it on grass. Runongrass.com.
Hi, Josh Stanley here from National Geographic's American Weed. I'm here with my brothers, and we've just recently put together a foundation in Colorado to allow for cancer patients and other patients of debilitating conditions to be able to get a hold of cannabis-based oil that's just about free of charge. I've just about had it with seeing sick patients suffer needlessly just because they can't afford the proper medication. That's what the Realm of Caring is going to change. Visit therealmofcaring.com. The website will be complete and up on 4/20 of 2012. But until then, please contact any of us Stanley brothers directly through email. You can get us at gratefuljosh@hotmail.com. Now come on, Colorado. We need to take care of each other. Join the Realm. That's realmofcaring.com. Thank you so much.
I'm Gary Johnson, and you're listening to Cannabis Radio, and I want to say, talk it up, Colorado.
And we're back. What's happening?
Not a whole lot.
I repeated myself on the way out, didn't I?
You did.
Ebba-debba-da. I'll be all right. Well, our next guest, the first guest that's here tonight, I have to thank for that and my red eyes today. Bubba. Bubba is one of the sponsors of the 5C Cannabis Run, which I have enjoyed for the last week or so. I was on vacation. We went to Durango, and I made a few pit stops along the way. What it is it's statewide, and you go to all these different dispensaries. You pick up your free meds. You show them some love, you might even get extra. I found at a few of them I got upwards of an eighth. I think you're supposed to get a half gram.
Yeah, the minimum's supposed to be a half gram.
Oh, shoot. Hang on 1 second. We're going to share your mic for a sec.
Yep. Then the minimum's supposed to be a half gram. Am I dead over here?
Yeah, we are. We'll be right back with our producer. But yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself real quick.
Hi, my name's Lou Zarobnik. Most people know me as Bubba, and I'm here representing for the 5Cs Events Foundation today and the inaugural Cannabis Run. And the Cannabis Run is probably the coolest event I've ever heard of. The way that I like to describe it is the world's first legal cannabis vacation. So basically what it is, there's a guy named Peter Cahill. He's out of the Glenwood area. He's the former sponsor and inventor of the Cannabis Crown. It was known as the Aspen Cannabis Crown. And this year we had a little bit of negativity on the weekend of the scheduling of the Cannabis Crown. So rather than peeing and moaning, Pete came up with a great idea, and it benefits the entire cannabis community of the entire state and the business community of the state. And he's tying them together with education, cannabis, and vacation. I mean, how can you beat that?
Well, I love the concept. It's the first one, I believe, the first year for it.
Absolutely, it's the inaugural.
What's happening is these businesses that are sponsoring, giving you a great deal on a hotel or a restaurant or whatever the case may be. Go ahead and adjust that. Here he is.
We can both talk.
You got to turn his mic on.
That's all right.
But anyway, the businesses that are sponsoring are throwing your guys' signs up.
Yes.
They're people coming into these communities. It's summertime in Colorado. This is like Glenwood Springs, Aspen, Rifle, places that people go. So mom and pop and kids are coming in from Nebraska at the Hampton Inn. They're seeing a sign for this Cannabis Run.
That's correct.
Wow, maybe that's normal. Maybe it's okay. They meet some people in the lobby who are patients traveling around doing the run.
I think that's awesome.
I do. I think there has to be, cups nowadays are a dime a dozen.
There you have it. Well, this one's a unique cup as well. We've got the original cannabis crown, the Aspen Cannabis Crown, but we've also spoken to Tim Tipton, and we're going to be allowed to give away the Caregiver's Cup as
nice.
a People's Choice Award for this whole. The Cannabis Run is an event, and basically it started on June 15th. It runs all the way through September 22nd. You buy a pass, it's called a CannaPass. It costs you $300. What that guarantees you is the ability to travel all around the state to all the participating dispensaries and pick up a minimum of a half-gram sample of each strain at each dispensary. Some dispensaries have more than one strain in the contest. We've got 18 cities involved, 41 dispensaries, and 65 strains. So it's a very interesting thing. There's also a scorecard in your Cannapass booklet that allows you to score your favorites. So there is a contest involved, and it's not one with professional judges. It's one where the people pick the winner.
And there's also a treasure hunt.
The treasure hunt. Oh, Pete would be really mad if I forgot about that.
I've been slacking.
It looks like you've got a couple of the clues filled in on your card over there as well.
Well, I guessed them myself. I don't know if they're right, but we'll see.
So what the treasure hunt's all about is you go around to the selected cities, and there's a clue in each city. And you've got the 18 clues. When you get all the 18 clues assembled, you answer the treasure hunt question, and that's what enters you into the drawing to win a free Cannapass for next year's event.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool.
That's a good value. I mean, if you add it up, I think I believe it's 41 dispensaries participating.
Right.
I called one chain out for you guys. I'm hoping they're making it good. I told Pete about it on the phone, and he thanked me for it.
Yeah, and the way that we decided to deal with that is no negativity here. You know, we've got a bunch of participants, and it didn't cost anybody anything to get involved in this. All the dispensaries, all they have to do is give away the samples when the new clients come through the door.
Yeah, it's a win-win.
It's a brilliantly conceived concept. I mean, Pete came up with the best thing I've ever seen, and that's why I'm so on board with it. Not to mention that all of the proceeds go to funding his charity, which is to educate people about cannabis.
Well, it's a big pro to the dispensaries, too, because they get new customers in the door.
It's a huge boon, and it's not just the dispensaries. It's the other businesses and associated businesses in those towns, and that's where he's been able to tie the non-cannabis business to the cannabis business and make it for our whole state. Our whole state is suffering in its economy right now. You know, people are afraid to come out here because of the fires that you guys live through. So anything that we can do in a positive light. Colorado is still a beautiful state. Less than 2% of our land area burned or was on fire. You know, so we got to get the word out. Come to Colorado, and there's no reason not to. Unfortunately, you can't come to Colorado and participate in the Cannabis Run because it's a red card holder only event. But that doesn't mean that things might not change in the future. And it doesn't mean that we can't start bringing the cannabis community into the fold of the regular business community. I'm a regular businessman in Colorado. I'm a fourth generation Denver native. You know, I want to see things positive. I don't want to see the cannabis community as singled out and being, you know, identified as something negative, because the people that are in it are some of the most brilliant I've ever met. You know, where we're sitting right now. Think about it.
Absolutely. I just want to add that you can't come to Colorado and make campfires or smoke cigarettes outside either right now.
That's correct. That's correct.
So bring your Metavape.
There you go.
No flames, no open flames, please. We love our mountains and we want to protect them. But yeah, it is sad to see right now our economy here. You know, I live in a tourist town, and Manitou is dead right now.
Well, and our state's still beautiful. I mean, I saw things on the news that, like, Garden of the Gods burned, and that's not true. It's not burned. It's
Garden
beautiful.
of the Gods is rocks. No. They're not going to burn.
Well, and it's fine. It didn't burn.
Right.
Well,
and
I
beautiful
just got
rocks.
back.
Balancing Rock is still balancing. Come on down, check it out.
You know, I just got back. We went to Mesa Verde is one of the places we went. Incredible. Highly recommend it. You know, there were a lot of burns throughout history there, and one was in 2000, and it, you know, the old growth is obviously gone, but it came back beautifully. So, you know, even the burn area is in time.
So what were the dispensaries that you hit on your way around?
Oh,
Where
gosh,
have you been
I'd have to pull out and look. I actually hit most of the clinics today, and kudos to them. Their staff, they were all very friendly. On the way to Durango, I stopped in Montrose and actually got some hash plant number 13, which was incredible. He was nice enough. I believe I got about an eighth of that. I'm cherishing my last little nug. It's hiding in my suitcase at the hotel.
So that was Montrose PNC Express?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Yeah, let's see. Where else were we? We were down in Durango.
So Durango Healing Center at 555 Camino del Rio.
Great girls there. They should be listening tonight. I encouraged everyone to listen to the show along the way.
Excellent. Now they had a couple different strains in their selection for the Cannabis Run, it looks like.
Let's see. I got to catch up to you. You're faster than me going.
I'm looking at Durango Healing Center has 4 strains in the contest. They've got the White, Northern Lights, Durban Poison, and Grape Ape.
I don't want to give anything away, but I'll just say I really like the Northern Lights. It was Northern Lights number 2, if I'm correct. The Durban Poison was nice. The Grape Ape, I have another connection who might be sitting right beside me. So I won't give any more away. I'll just stop right there, and we'll go to commercial here in just a second when my producer's done untangling cords and wants to pay bills. Stay with us here on Overgrow the Radio.
Peace.
The clinic is proud to announce the 3rd annual Clinic Charity Classic Golf Tournament benefiting the Colorado MS Society. The tournament will be held at City Park Golf Course this coming August 11th. There will be some incredible prizes, including an opportunity to win a trip for 2 to Hawaii. The trip includes airfare, 8 days, 7 nights at the Ritz-Carlton Kapalua, including 4 rounds of golf and $1,500 spending cash. Thanks to the incredible support of Weed Maps, Hetty Glass, Rocky Mountain Hydro, T. Meyer & Stitch, Dixie Elixir, and MMJPrinting.com, we're able to provide awareness to this incredibly difficult condition that so many Coloradans are suffering from. The event will be covered extensively by our favorite industry media outlets, Culture Magazine, The Hemp Connoisseur, Kush Magazine, and of course the amazing people at iCannabis Radio. Please register at thecliniccolorado.com or at any of our 6 convenient locations throughout the Denver metro area.
The law offices of Edson, Mayton, and Matz provide criminal defense, medical marijuana defense, and advice about setting up and running medical marijuana centers, optional premises cultivation operations, and infused product manufacturing businesses throughout Colorado. With offices in Denver and Aspen, we can offer assistance throughout the entire state of Colorado. Give us a call at 303-831-8188. That's 303-831-8188. Or visit us online at warrenedson.com.
California's Attorney General has determined that the Repeal Cannabis Prohibition Act will save hundreds of millions of dollars from our overburdened justice system while creating hundreds of millions in new tax revenues from new sustainable jobs and industries that are friendly to our environment. But we can't do it without your help. We are seeking your donations to get on the ballot. Please go to repealcannabisprohibition.org to learn more about how you can help. It's time to end the war on cannabis and hemp in California. It's time to end the madness. Paid for by Sensible Californians Incorporated.
Are you a medical marijuana patient or interested in finding out how to become one? Contact Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern. Conveniently located on Hamden and Tamarack in the Whole Foods parking lot behind Proof of the Pudding. Mile High Wellness offers a wide variety of edibles, hashes, and some of Colorado's top strains. Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern. 3525 South Tamarack, Suite 110, on the corner of Hamden and Tamarack. 720-382-8516. Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern.
Hi, Josh Stanley here from National Geographic's American Weed. I'm here with my brothers, and we've just recently put together a foundation in Colorado to allow for cancer patients and other patients of debilitating conditions to be able to get a hold of cannabis-based oil that's just about free of charge. I've just about had it with seeing sick patients suffer needlessly just because they can't afford the proper medication. That's what the Realm of Caring is going to change. Visit therealmofcaring.com. The website will be complete and up on 4/20 of 2012. But until then, please contact any of us Stanley Brothers directly through email. You can get us at gratefuljosh@hotmail.com. Now come on, Colorado. We need to take care of each other. Join the Realm. That's realmofcaring.com. Thank you so much. Hi, I'm Josh Stanley.
And I'm Jesse Stanley.
2 of the brothers here from National Geographic's American Weed, and we'd like to invite you to come into our dispensaries in Colorado Springs. Come in for the most pure organic strain selection in Colorado. It's all hand-grown by the Stanley Brothers, especially for our patients. So come in and visit us at our 2 locations, East Platte and West Colorado. And remember,
always be kind to each other.
We're back, I guess.
Welcome back to Overgrow the Radio.
See, I'm mumbling again because the music came in and I just wasn't there. So, sir, Bubba, thank you for all you guys are doing with the cup. Real quick, I want to have you plug all your websites because you got a lot of events coming up.
No problem at all. The first one that we've been talking about is the Cannabis Run, the inaugural Cannabis Run, www.cannabisrun.com or www.5cevents.com. And check these out because the Cannabis Run's really important. It gives an opportunity for the cannabis community to integrate into the business community and for everybody to have a great cannabis vacation this summer. Also this summer, coming up on August 3rd, is the 29th Invitational Colorado Bongathon. You don't want to miss this one. Okay? Get in touch with me. My phone number is 720.
Hang on 1 second.
Oh.
Now, Candace, hold on 1 sec.
No? Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I don't have headphones on, Candace. 720-490-1857, Bubba, for a ticket to the Bongathon or for a Cannapass for the Cannabis Run. Go ahead and talk to Candace, and I'll stick around for you.
You're there, dude. Hey, Candace. You're live with myself and Elisa, my co-host, and Bubba. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
We're doing great here. Candace is the, and correct me if I'm wrong, but chapter leader for Moms for Marijuana in Maryland.
I sure am.
And you're going to fill us in tonight on the July 4th smoke-in. I believe you said a few words there in D.C. One of my old stomping...
I spoke at the smoke-in. I had a really good time.
You smoked at the smoke-in?
I spoke. You know, they wouldn't let us smoke.
Oh, I know.
So,
as we've talked, our first Overgrow event was in that same spot. But I'm going to let you talk about it a little bit more. People hear me talk all the time. So go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what happened there.
Okay, my name is Candace Junkin, and like you said, I'm chapter leader for Moms for Marijuana, Maryland chapter. I'm going to assume that everyone knows what Moms for Marijuana is. I spoke at the smoke-in on D.C. on July 4th. It was very hot. It was about 110 degrees in the shade that day. I was a little disappointed at the turnout. In previous years, I've seen hundreds of people in D.C. on the 4th of July for the smoke-in. The turnout wasn't as great this year. There were some really great people there. I met John Pilka, Richard Eastman, Harvest Honey. The list can go on and on. The speakers were great.
Cindy's great.
Don't really know what else you want me to say. It was a good time.
I think, the challenge always in D.C. is getting a crowd out there. I don't know if it's just people are intimidated by the fact that it's such a police state there or what it is, but with our events, it's always the same issue.
Being in Lafayette Park right across from the White House, of course, you have the Secret Service that are keeping their eyes on us. And they are a little bit of jerks sometimes. And I think the heat this year probably kept a lot of people away. It was really hot.
Well, yeah, I'm in battle right now. The beginning of our show tonight, the precursor, we played my most recent phone conversation with the Secret Service police there. They decided to search me and feel me up a little bit, and I refused the search, and they found nothing, and so I'm entangled in this back and forth with them that we played. So yeah, I can relate. They're not friendly. The Parks Police there have always been historically great for us. But
they
Secret
were great.
Service
The Park Police were great.
Yeah, the Secret Service, I just don't know what's up there. So, Moms for Marijuana, just give us a brief overview of what that is for people who don't know.
Sure. We are an international group. We're a grassroots network of parents and other citizens across the world who are concerned with the war being fought against the cannabis plant and the negative effect that it's having on future generations. We want to change things for our children. We're growing every day. We have over 45 chapters, more than 30 sub-chapters. We're in 30 states, 11 countries, 2 provinces. And we just want to concentrate on dispelling the lies and the fear and the propaganda that we've been feeding our children for, 80 years now?
Well, at least some people.
Create discussion and teach people that cannabis isn't a horrible thing. It's a medicine. We can do all kinds of things with it, fuel, paper, we just want the world to know that we are moms and we are concerned with the future for our children, and we think that cannabis could do a lot for this world.
Well, absolutely.
And that's kind of what we're all about.
Folks don't realize that cannabis was 85% of our world for a long time.
For a long time.
I just wanted to jump in and say, and I've said it before, I admire women in this movement. In general, of course, my other half is involved in women's rights issues too.
Right.
And the strength when women come together in groups, people listen. They did the We Are Women March here in Denver, and I was amazed at all the politicians that were there. For cannabis events, it's hard to pull 2 or 3 politicians. So,
I'm a good mom. I mean, I raised 4 beautiful kids. I'm intelligent. I'm hardworking. I'm a contributing member of society. And guess what? I use cannabis instead of the opiates and the pharmaceutical poisons that the doctors want to fill me with. And I think it should be my choice.
Absolutely. Keep the government out of our bodies. Keep the doctors in. Well, to a certain extent. Well, we've got actually a little event before we run out of our next 5 minutes here. Moms for Marijuana and Overgrow the Government. It was kind of a freak accident. We were planning we go twice a year, and we were going in the fall. And you guys have a little project going on. We're kind of going to join forces and go back to D.C. again. Do you want to let us know from the mom side what's going on?
Are you talking about our cannabis quilt?
Absolutely.
Well, we are actually kind of in the same way that they did the AIDS quilt. We are asking cannabis patients all over the world to volunteer to make patches for our cannabis quilt. I'm pretty sure that we are closing in on having at least every state in the United States done. We're still looking for volunteers. You can contact us at momsformarijuana.org to volunteer. But we want to have a regional conference in October in D.C. We don't have a place laid out yet. I think you're going to kind of help me with that a little bit.
Sure we do. It's at the Sylvan Theater in D.C. on October 15th. It'll probably run from about 9 a.m., 10 a.m. until 5, 6. We'll have musical acts all day, speakers, all kinds of fun stuff. We'll probably do
fabulous. See, I was behind. I didn't even know that.
I'm guessing we'll do a march down by the White House, raise a little hectic, a little, I don't want to use a bad word there, hell, I guess.
And we will reveal our quilt that day. Our date is October 15th, correct?
It is. The Sylvan Theater is right underneath the Washington Monument. It's a big amphitheater.
Right.
It's a great time. The cops there are kind of assholes too, obviously. Pardon my French again.
Well, they think just because we're cannabis users that we're criminals, and we're going to change those thoughts one day.
Well, and it is what it is. D.C. has dispensaries now. It's a federal territory, but I still, when I go there, I go without my meds. I make it as quick as possible. I fly out for 2 days and fly home as quickly as possible. And as I also pointed out,
you shouldn't have to do that.
Well, and I have meds at the ready in my console of my car when I arrive, so... I made that clear to them as they were searching me that day. So.
Well, I know how that is. I mean, I'm a patient in a state that does not give me that choice.
Sure.
So I know how it is to have to go without your meds sometimes.
Well, I know Maryland's working on it, so, all I can say to that effect is you guys, I actually have Harvest Honey helps out with Overgrow, and Rebecca Forbes out that way. You guys have a great group of people on the East Coast. The challenge in a lot of those states is getting folks. I used to live in flyover states in the Midwest, so I know very much what it's like to be a closet activist, to be scared to come out and speak your mind because of repercussions. But you guys do have a strong group that's growing daily, and you will get there. I see progress every day.
You mentioned Harvest Honey, and I met her on July for the first time. We talked on the internet a little bit. But she is awesome. Her and I have some of the same ideas about, trying to get some debates going. And sometimes we feel like we are preaching to the choir and that we need to bring some people in, some new people in who, don't know, and try to educate more people out there and people that maybe weren't necessarily involved before or don't know the benefits of cannabis, getting them involved. So I'm looking forward to working with Harvest Honey a lot more.
Absolutely. She's a sweetheart. I'll just say she's baked for me when I needed sweets.
Right?
and they were incredible. The Midwest is, there's not a lot of good sweets in the Midwest. They need more sugar in their diet. I don't know what the hell's wrong with them there. So, real quick, we're about to run out of time with our little segment, but I want you to plug Mom's website, and we'll try to get you guys back on a few times, before October.
We would love that. Our website is momsformarijuana.org. You can go on the website. Our biggest presence is on Facebook. And if you go on the website, there is a list of all of our chapters all over the world. And you can go down and find your local chapter and join. And make sure you join our United States chapter and our international chapter. We're doing a lot of good stuff, and we're really trying to get the word about the benefits of cannabis out there.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I look forward to meeting you in D.C. It's a great time. I can't wait. All right. Keep up the good work, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Stick Man.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
All right. We're going to run away again for a minute because that's what we do.
Peace.
Let's face it, rules and regulations are complicated, especially in the field of medical marijuana. Let Medical Marijuana 101 help you get through the compliance process. We can also explain to you your employment requirements, your employees, and your business. But our work doesn't stop there. Our experience in cultivation ranges from the design of grow rooms to the diagnosis and resolution of grow problems. Visit us at www.medicalmarijuana101.com or call 303-388-7706. That's 303-388-7706.
Hi, Josh Stanley here from National Geographic's American Weed. I'm here with my brothers, and we've just recently put together a foundation in Colorado to allow for cancer patients and other patients of debilitating conditions to be able to get a hold of cannabis-based oil that's just about free of charge. I've just about had it with seeing sick patients suffer needlessly just because they can't afford the proper medication. That's what the Realm of Caring is going to change. Visit therealmofcaring.com. The website will be complete and up on 4/20 of 2012. But until then, please contact any of us Stanley brothers directly through email. You can get us at gratefuljosh@hotmail.com. Now come on, Colorado. We need to take care of each other. Join the Realm. That's realmofcaring.com. Thank you so much.
The Clinic is proud to announce the 3rd annual Clinic Charity Classic Golf Tournament benefiting the Colorado MS Society. The tournament will be held at City Park Golf Course this coming August 11th. There will be some incredible prizes, including an opportunity to win a trip for 2 to Hawaii. The trip includes airfare, 8 days, 7 nights at the Ritz-Carlton Kapalua, including 4 rounds of golf and $1,500 spending cash. Thanks to the incredible support of Weed Maps, Hetty Glass, Rocky Mountain Hydro, T. Meyer & Stitch, Dixie Elixir, and MMJPrinting.com, we're able to provide awareness to this incredibly difficult condition that so many Coloradans are suffering from. The event will be covered extensively by our favorite industry media outlets: Culture Magazine, The Hemp Connoisseur, Kush Magazine, and of course the amazing people at iCannabis Radio. Please register at thecliniccolorado.com or at any of our 6 convenient locations throughout the Denver metro area.
The law offices of Edson, Maton, and Matz provide criminal defense, medical marijuana defense, and advice about setting up and running medical marijuana centers, optional premises cultivation operations, and infused product manufacturing businesses throughout Colorado. With offices in Denver and Aspen, we can offer assistance throughout the entire state of Colorado. Give us a call at 303-831-8188. That's 303-831-8188. Or visit us online at warrenedson.com.
California's Attorney General has determined that the Repeal Cannabis Prohibition Act will save hundreds of millions of dollars from our overburdened justice system while creating hundreds of millions in new tax revenues from new sustainable jobs and industries that are friendly to our environment. But we can't do it without your help. We are seeking your donations to get on the ballot. Please go to repealcannabisprohibition.org to learn more about how you can help. It's time to end the war on cannabis and hemp in California. It's time to end the madness. Paid for by Sensible Californians Incorporated.
Hi, I'm Josh Stanley.
And I'm Jesse Stanley.
Two of the brothers here from National Geographic's American Weed, and we'd like to invite you to come into our dispensaries in Colorado Springs. Come in for the most pure organic strain selection in Colorado. It's all hand-grown by the Stanley brothers, especially for our patients. So come in and visit us at our two locations, East Platte and West Colorado. And remember,
always be kind to each other.
Are you a medical marijuana patient or interested in finding out how to become one? Contact Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern. Conveniently located on Hamden and Tamarack in the Whole Foods parking lot behind Proof of the Pudding. Mile High Wellness offers a wide variety of edibles, hashes, and some of Colorado's top strains. Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern. 3525 South Tamarack, Suite 110, on the corner of Hamden and Tamarack. 720-382-8516. Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern.
Are you a runner? Are you a runner who supports marijuana legalization? Run on Grass is a group of athletes actively seeking to change our marijuana laws. We speak the truth about cannabis, bringing the message through our feet to new ears. Check out runongrass.com to find out more about us, our events, and how to join up or how to sponsor a runner. If you're in the Denver area, please join us for runs or start a group in your area. Running not your thing? Any sport can do it. On Grass. Runongrass.com.
And I'm chatting again with the new guest and lost track of time. We've got in studio Miss Shelli Walker, and she looks very lovely for our show tonight. How are you?
Hi, thanks. It is nice that she dressed up.
Elisa did too. Yeah, Elisa always looks nice. You know, some of us clean up well. I don't. I'm kind of a dirty hippie. I did shorten my ponytail so it didn't flap in my face.
Oh, you always wear a clean shirt for the show.
I do. Collared shirt. Though I might wear a t-shirt once in a while. There'll be a night where I'm feeling lazy, you know. So Shelli, I found it interesting. She was on with a guest a couple weeks back, I guess, Mila from Amsterdam, the Queen of Hash. Mila was great, and Shelli and I talked afterwards, and she's actually a PhD student at CU Boulder. I'm a dyslexic there for a second. And she's doing a paper, your final paper?
My dissertation.
Yeah, very good. Your dissertation on, you know, patients. You're studying us is basically what I said on Facebook today.
Yeah.
And I find that interesting. So I'm kind of going to let you jump in right here and tell me and tell our audience, you know, what it is that you are studying, what you're doing.
Sure. So I'm in sociology. So it's not a medical study or anything like that. It's more about... I got very interested in how patients are using cannabis as medicine, and when I looked through the literature that's out there right now in academia, I mean, you kind of get one thing in the news that's treats, talks about patients one way, and then when you look in the academic literature, really, most of the study that's still out there, with few exceptions, is in deviance or criminology, and it's looking at adolescent use primarily, and still kind of treating use a certain way. And there's sort of a missing piece there, I think, about how people are using cannabis medically, and even how medical use, how people distinguish between medical use and recreational use in their practices and what they actually do, and how they use it on a day-to-day basis. And I think that that's a really important distinction to make about...
Do you think those are separate, or do you think those are blurred?
What's that?
The recreational and the medical. And
well, I think it's interesting to see what happens with that terminology, because not everybody even necessarily wants that terminology or likes that terminology. I've had people correct me different ways about how they'd like to call it. But I think that there's no question that it blurs, and part of that is because of how we've chosen to split it and call one recreational and one medical.
Sure, when really it's all the same. I mean, and I'm quick to point out, I used it recreationally when I was young, but I'm pretty sure that was medical. I just didn't realize it. You know, I'm an anxious person. Without cannabis, I'm jittery. With cannabis, I'm not. As a kid, I was able to sit in class and actually get good grades with cannabis, you know. So I think a lot of patients are patients without even knowing. I was going to ask, along those lines, from what you've seen, and we're not going to go into specifics, and I'm actually going to digress for just a minute and throw out a disclaimer for you. That we don't really have call-ins. We discourage that. We're just not ready for it yet. Elisa's too busy looking up news usually for me. Well, we let people chat with us, which, sometimes they're interesting. Come on, guys, be interesting. And anyway, you don't want folks to contact you, obviously, through chat and give their name. So.
Oh, yeah, but I am still recruiting patients in Colorado for my study. I'll probably interview at least a dozen more people. And I'm really looking for patients in the Boulder area and the Denver area right now. In order to participate as a patient in my study, I'm recruiting people who are over 30 now. So you can be 30 or over.
Right.
And then you don't have to have your red card. You just have to have a doctor's recommendation and not have been rejected.
Well, that's what I wanted. I was going to talk to you about that because something we've learned in our recent trial endeavors is that, most of us knew it all along, just not the Colorado Springs Police Department. The red cards are optional in the state of Colorado. It's not required to have a red card. That gives you a criminal exemption, which I like. I have a red card. But, we have Amendment 20, which gives anyone an affirmative defense so long as you have a doctor's recommendation. I mean, we just saw Bob Crouse, who we're going to get on the phone in just a few minutes, get found not guilty because of that. All he needed was his recommendation for 75 plants, and there you go.
Right.
So are you, when you do the study, are you only accepting folks... Because there is a group of people out there that refuse to get red cards, and it grew for a while, and now it's kind of sinking again. People are getting back into the red card thing. But are you interviewing people with and without red cards?
Well, I'm interviewing people as long as they have a doctor's recommendation, so their use should be medical.
Sure.
But the red card thing is very interesting because, 2009, we were up to 5,000 people on the rolls, and then suddenly we were up to 125,000.
That's when
now
I moved
we're somewhere
here.
Around 85, 90,000, something like that.
Yeah.
So, it's clearly been a real roller coaster with red cards over the past couple of years. And
a lot of people freaked out when 1284 was enacted, and myself included. I think there's a lot of violations that came along with that. I'm quick to point out I think regulation's good because it ties us in with Colorado.
Right.
In my eyes, if the feds come in, they should prosecute Colorado too as a co-defendant. It's only part of it's common sense. But they definitely overstepped some boundaries with it, and it scared a lot of people away from the red card program. The cameras in the dispensaries from seed to sale, that's ridiculous. When I walk into Walgreens to pick up narcotics, they don't care about those cameras. They're probably not even on half the time. Well, maybe nowadays with all the robberies for the Oxycontin.
I was going to say, they get robbed every other day.
Yeah. So I would obviously volunteer. I'm in Denver half a week every week to interview and be part of your study. Absolutely. I guess the other thing I'm real curious about is patients a lot of times are very private, and we talked for a minute when you came in. You yourself are not a patient.
That's right, I'm not a patient.
My first question is what made you choose? It's evidence to me you chose this for your dissertation, that it is a mainstream issue, that it's very prevalent, it's out there, it's important, it's medicine, it's a lot of things. What made you make the choice to write the paper about?
Well, I came back to graduate school after living in the Bay Area in California for about a decade, I guess. And I worked out there as an editor for a long time. And through that, I ended up knowing a lot of people who were active in the cannabis community in the Bay Area right after Prop 215 passed.
Nice.
So I felt like I kind of got a bird's eye view of what was going on with that in a lot of respects and became very interested in the issue. I thought when I came to graduate school I was actually transitioning to do other things about health, and
Sure.
That was what my coursework was like for the first few years. And then in 2009, when everything exploded here,
Absolutely.
I was working on picking my topic for my dissertation, and I just felt like it was too good to resist.
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
I just really
well, it's
was
a hot
drawn in
issue.
by it. And it helped to have that background to kind of have some things to draw on to compare it to, and I already had a pretty good set of knowledge about it, I guess, at that point. So
yeah, that's pretty cool. I admire that you were there during all that. I'm sure you probably know Mr. Perrone.
Yeah.
He was on our show. Oh gosh, it's been a while.
Wow.
He'll be back on in August for Peter McWilliams' birthday.
Oh, great.
Him and Julia will be on the show again, so we're looking forward to that. Yeah, that's definitely, you were there in the beginning. We talked earlier, you know, Pelosi's claiming Dr. Bob's doing some work with the feds right now for HIV and AIDS, and really, in my eyes, that's kind of the root of what started Prop 215. A lot of it was the AIDS patients and the relief they got from cannabis out there.
Well, yeah, I mean, really, it's kind of interesting to look at how cannabis and same-sex marriage have kind of followed a similar path legislatively, in that they both took their issue to the feds, and it got kicked back and ended up becoming a state's issue.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's kind of funny. I've heard people refer to medical cannabis as the new gay marriage.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great antidote. And it's funny too, because they claim it's a state's issue, but they're very quick to jump back in and mess with it. So
well, I think both of those things really, you know, there's definitely still an agenda at the federal level for both of those issues.
Sure.
But they both kind of pushed it at the federal level. When that didn't work, they came back to working at a state level. And I mean, we already had a compassionate use program federally. That, you know,
we did.
I mean, you've probably met a couple of the patients from there, like Irv Rosenfeld.
Yeah, we know Irv.
LV Musica.
Yeah.
And when the HIV/AIDS crisis happened, there was an attempt for a lot of people to apply to be admitted as HIV patients to the compassionate care program. And that ended up backfiring. That's what closed the doors on it. And that was sort of the moment where, and that's partly why it happened in California too, was that pushback from that very community, and it created some pressure in California to allow for medical use.
Right on. Well, we got to jump around to commercial here again.
Okay.
You're going to hang out with us for a few more, right?
Sure.
Very good. We'll be right back on Overgrow the Radio.
Peace.
Hi, Josh Stanley here from National Geographic's American Weed. I'm here with my brothers, and we've just recently put together a foundation in Colorado to allow for cancer patients and other patients of debilitating conditions to be able to get a hold of cannabis-based oil that's just about free of charge. I've just about had it with seeing sick patients suffer needlessly just because they can't afford the proper medication. That's what the Realm of Caring is going to change. Visit therealmofcaring.com. The website will be complete and up on 4/20 of 2012. But until then, please contact any of us Stanley brothers directly through email. You can get us at gratefuljosh@hotmail.com. Now come on, Colorado. We need to take care of each other. Join the Realm. That's realmofcaring.com. Thank you so much.
The clinic is proud to announce the 3rd annual Clinic Charity Classic Golf Tournament benefiting the Colorado MS Society. The tournament will be held at City Park Golf Course this coming August 11th. There will be some incredible prizes, including an opportunity to win a trip for 2 to Hawaii. The trip includes airfare, 8 days, 7 nights at the Ritz-Carlton Kapalua, including 4 rounds of golf and $1,500 spending cash. Thanks to the incredible support of Weed Maps, Hetty Glass, Rocky Mountain Hydro, T. Meyer & Stitch, Dixie Elixir, and MMJPrinting.com, we're able to provide awareness to this incredibly difficult condition that so many Coloradans are suffering from. The event will be covered extensively by our favorite industry media outlets: Culture Magazine, The Hemp Connoisseur, Kush Magazine, and of course the amazing people at iCannabis Radio. Please register at thecliniccolorado.com or at any of our 6 convenient locations throughout the Denver metro area.
The law offices of Edson, Maton, and Matz provide criminal defense, medical marijuana defense, and advice about setting up and running medical marijuana centers, optional premises cultivation operations, and infused product manufacturing businesses throughout Colorado. With offices in Denver and Aspen, we can offer assistance throughout the entire state of Colorado. Give us a call at 303-831-8188. That's 303-831-8188. Or visit us online at warrenedson.com.
California's California's Attorney General has determined that the Repeal Cannabis Prohibition Act will save hundreds of millions of dollars from our overburdened justice system while creating hundreds of millions in new tax revenues from new sustainable jobs and industries that are friendly to our environment. But we can't do it without your help. We are seeking your donations to get on the ballot. Please go to repealcannabisprohibition.org to learn more about how you can help. It's time to end the war on cannabis and hemp in California. It's time to end the madness. Paid for by Sensible Californians Incorporated.
Hi, I'm Josh Stanley.
And I'm Jesse Stanley.
Two of the brothers here from National Geographic's American Weed, and we'd like to invite you to come into our dispensaries in Colorado Springs. Come in for the most pure organic strain selection in Colorado. It's all hand-grown by the Stanley brothers, especially for our patients. So come in and visit us at our two locations, East Platte and West Colorado. And remember,
always be kind to each other.
Are you a medical marijuana patient or interested in finding out how to become one? Contact Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern. Conveniently located on Hamden and Tamarack in the Whole Foods parking lot behind Proof of the Pudding. Mile High Wellness offers a wide variety of edibles, hashes, and some of Colorado's top strains. Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern. 3525 South Tamarack, Suite 110, on the corner of Hamden and Tamarack. 720-382-8516. Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern.
Are you a runner? Are you a runner who supports marijuana legalization? Run on Grass is a group of athletes actively seeking to change our marijuana laws. We speak the truth about cannabis, bringing the message through our feet to new ears. Check out runongrass.com to find out more about us, our events, and how to join up or how to sponsor a runner. If you're in the Denver area, please join us for runs or start a group in your area. Running not your thing? Any sport can do it on grass. Runongrass.com.
Sometimes I think most of the population of the United States is blinded by the light, but I think we're slowly waking up and getting our vision back. Cannabis does save lives. Cannabis can help our economy. It can save our world if we let it. You know,
and it can make a great vacation.
Yeah. Cannabis Run. Sorry, I like to shorten things. Yeah, like I was saying, you know, the trip down south was great. We went up over the mountains, and I scared myself and my other half, and you know, looked off big cliffs and got to take breaks once in a while and go in dispensaries and meet cool people and pick up meds. Very good. So we're back. I didn't welcome us back. Elisa didn't either. She was goofing off over there.
That's all I ever do.
I know. I mean, that's why we're here, isn't it? We're back with Shelli and Bubba. We're going to jump back in, and before we get too far ahead of ourselves, I want you to give some contact info because patients are out there, and this is a cool study. If I had more time, I would be a part of it. So I encourage everyone else to jump in and give you a hand.
So if you'd like to participate in my study, if you're 30 years or older and you're a resident in Colorado and you've had a doctor recommend medical marijuana to you, whether you have your red card or not, you're eligible to participate. And that would just consist of sitting down in person with me for an hour or two and participating in an interview, which is pretty casual. It's basically just like having a conversation where you tell me how you ended up becoming a patient and some other things about what your attitudes about health and that type of stuff. And you can contact me to do that by phone at area code 415-264-2958, or you can email me at cupatientstudy@gmail.com.
Right on. It's like a conversation here on Overgrow the Radio. She said she was a little nervous during the break, but that's all it is. We're just here chatting. Anyway, I did have a couple other questions I'm curious about. We have some little more time to kill before we have to call our next person. But, I guess the other thing with patients is we can be kind of inclusive, kind of tight-knit. It takes a minute to get into the circle. To give you an example, we have a friend of ours who helps with photography, and the first event I took him to was an open house. He comes in and starts snapping photos, and it took about 2 seconds for questions to be like, who are you? Why are you here? What are you doing? So we're,
I had
we're
people
very
rush
guarded.
me going, do you know him? Do you know him?
Yeah, I mean, how do you find, because what you're doing, you're asking folks to sit down and tell a story.
Sure.
not everyone. I'm very open with it. I think cannabis probably added a lot of time back onto my life as opposed to pills, and takes care of the same things. A lot of people aren't as open.
Sure.
What kind of response have you gotten?
Oh, I've gotten a great response. I've really enjoyed the interviews I've done so far. They are throughout the state. They're not just in this area. I've been traveled throughout the state to interview people. But I find when we sit down in person, like it ends up, sometimes it can be really cathartic for somebody to tell their story. Like it's sort of a relief, to sort of be asked what their experience was like. And also, I mean, I'm not a journalist. This is not something where that person's picture is going to be taken or their name's going to appear in the paper next to their opinions. This is a study that involves me providing the best assurances of confidentiality that I can reasonably provide. And nobody's name is used in my final study.
So you're not me. You don't follow undercover policemen down the hallway at courthouses to take photos of them?
No, nothing like that.
Right on. Yeah, patients appreciate that. I know I do. It's a fine balance right now. Our confidentiality from one day to the next is always at jeopardy. So that's reassuring. I personally can vouch for you. If you show up at my studio with the Queen of Hash, I'm probably going to think you're pretty cool. We had a great time that day. We went around and visited the, Can Labs and the dispensary down the hall, the clinic. I actually hit up almost every clinic in town today to pick up samples for the cup. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, very good. So anyway, there's so many questions we could get into about studies and all of the exciting stuff going on. I guess it's good for me to hear, that you are accepted. I guess my next question is from your end, what's your impression? I mean, you're not, you've been around cannabis, but, you're not a recreational user. You're not a patient. Maybe you are. I don't know. Either way, I'm always curious, do you see it, the people you're working with, do you see them as mainstream, functional, productive people, or are they living in their parents' basement playing PlayStation?
No, I mean, I actually, I think that the people who use cannabis are about as diverse as the general population, really, when it gets right down to it.
So you don't see cannabis taking motivation away and turning people into zombies who sit in basements and play PlayStation
well, that's
with Cheetos?
definitely not what I'm studying, but no,
Right.
I mean, that wouldn't be my impression. But I do think all the stereotypes are interesting. As a sociologist, I mean, that's the kind of thing that we're really interested in, and I do think that's part of what people have to navigate, is like, what's their relationship to those stereotypes that people may have about them, and how does that affect whether they decide to tell somebody or not.
Sure. Well, and I like to point out in our society, it's so hypocritical, most of the people in my life use cannabis, and most of the people in my life are very productive, successful people. There are a lot of stupid reefer madness stereotypes out there, and it's not just people who are those reefer madness people. It's our friends and family who, still have these crazy ideas. Like you can fail a drug test from riding in the car with someone who's medicating, that type of thing. It's the fear techniques. It's like the article that you were in where they throw the heroin and the cocaine in the same sentence. They do that kind of crap just to scare people. And what you're doing is very important because you are, essentially the next generation. I'm going to say you're younger than me just because I always say that.
That's sweet.
And, it's us, it's our children who have to change this. We see the wrong on so many levels. So,
well, I mean, we're in a different... I think we're in a really important and dynamic time right now. And I'll tell you what, we've seen ever since this became illegal, ever since we've had it scheduled in the Controlled Substances Act in the 70s, there have always been battles either at the local level where towns tried to legalize, to at the state level where different programs were tried to be implemented, to different attempts to try to get the rescheduling petition done. That's happened twice where it was dragged out for a decade. But there's sort of been no shortage of attempts to kind of right this wrong in terms of the misscheduling of this substance. But the thing that's different about now from every other time before is that there's brand new science out there. Mm-hmm. I mean, the endocannabinoid system is something that we've only really known about and we're still learning about, but was only really discovered in the mid-90s. And it created this whole line of basic research to understand this and be able to verify at a scientific, on a scientific basis that it has a medical, that there's medicinal reasons for using it. It just wasn't, we didn't have that kind of, there wasn't that kind of evidence before to support a cultural movement. And I think it makes it makes a huge difference in the chances that there are now to really change.
Well, and we should explain the reason behind that. I mean, companies like Dr. Bob Melamede's, that he runs a public company, Cannabis Science, they're funding private research because the feds make it so difficult to obtain cannabis legally through the DEA, that no one can do research. And when you do get cannabis, it's provided from places like the University of Mississippi, which we talked about with Irv, that gives you hay, so you're not getting good science even when you are getting science from government studies. It's absurd.
Most of it's from outside of the U.S., to be honest, at this point. That's
Israel.
Yeah,
they're doing great stuff. They're about
50 years ahead of everybody else.
Well, they've okayed, I believe, their active duty military to use cannabis while serving.
They've invented a THC-less strain of cannabis for medical use only.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I know we're working on some of those. I don't know that we're there though, where they're at with that.
I'm not working that hard on that one.
This is an exciting time because we are changing history right now, and things are going to be reversed in the way that we've been educated about cannabis.
Absolutely. Well, we've got to cut away, and we've got to call Mr. Crouse in just a couple minutes and discuss his victory. Shelli, you're welcome to hang out with us for a bit. We're going to talk to Bob Crouse, who recently beat Dan May's ass in court, thanks to a wonderful jury in El Paso County that served some justice.
And he set some precedents for patients.
He did. Doctor's recommendation, only requirement.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Stay with us here on Overgrow the Radio.
Peace.
Hi, Josh Stanley here from National Geographic's American Weed. I'm here with my brothers, and we've just recently put together a foundation in Colorado to allow for cancer patients and other patients of debilitating conditions to be able to get a hold of cannabis-based oil that's just about free of charge. I've just about had it with seeing sick patients suffer needlessly just because they can't afford the proper medication. That's what the Realm of Caring is going to change. Visit therealmofcaring.com. The website will be complete and up on 4/20 of 2012. But until then, please contact any of us Stanley brothers directly through email. You can get us at gratefuljosh@hotmail.com. Now come on, Colorado. We need to take care of each other. Join the Realm. That's realmofcaring.com. Thank you so much.
Are you a runner? Are you a runner who supports marijuana legalization? Run on Grass is a group of athletes actively seeking to change our marijuana laws. We speak the truth about cannabis, bringing the message through our feet to new ears. Check out runongrass.com to find out more about us, our events, and how to join up or how to sponsor a runner. If you're in the Denver area, please join us for runs or start a group in your area. Running not your thing? Any sport can do it on grass. Runongrass.com.
California's Attorney General has determined that the Repeal Cannabis Prohibition Act will save hundreds of millions of dollars from our overburdened justice system while creating hundreds of millions in new tax revenues from new sustainable jobs and industries that are friendly to our environment. But we can't do it without your help. We are seeking your donations to get on the ballot. Please go to repealcannabisprohibition.org to learn more about how you can help. It's time to end the war on cannabis and hemp in California. It's time to end the madness. Paid for by Sensible Californians Incorporated.
Are you a medical marijuana patient or interested in finding out how to become one? Contact Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern. Conveniently located on Hamden and Tamarack in the Whole Foods parking lot behind Proof of the Pudding. Mile High Wellness offers a wide variety of edibles, hashes, and some of Colorado's top strains. Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern. 3525 South Tamarack, Suite 110, on the corner of Hamden and Tamarack. 720-382-8516. Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern.
The clinic is proud to announce the third annual Clinic Charity Classic Golf Tournament benefiting the Colorado MS Society. The tournament will be held at City Park Golf Course this coming August 11th. There will be some incredible prizes, including an opportunity to win a trip for two to Hawaii. The trip includes airfare, 8 days, 7 nights at the Ritz-Carlton Kapalua, including 4 rounds of golf and $1,500 spending cash. Thanks to the incredible support of Weed Maps, Hetty Glass, Rocky Mountain Hydro, T. Meyer & Stitch, Dixie Elixir, and MMJprinting.com, we're able to provide awareness to this incredibly difficult condition that so many Coloradans are suffering from. The event will be covered extensively by our favorite industry media outlets, Culture Magazine, The Hemp Connoisseur, Kush Magazine, and of course the amazing people at iCannabis Radio. Please register at thecliniccolorado.com or at any of our 6 convenient locations throughout the Denver metro area.
The law offices of Edson, Mayton, and Matz provide criminal defense, medical marijuana defense, and advice about setting up and running medical marijuana centers, optional premises cultivation operations, and infused product manufacturing businesses throughout Colorado. With offices in Denver and Aspen, we can offer assistance throughout the entire state of Colorado. Give us a call at 303-831-8188. That's 303-831-8188. Or visit us online at warrenedson.com.
Hi, I'm Josh Stanley.
And I'm Jesse Stanley.
2 of the brothers here from National Geographic's American Weed, and we'd like to invite you to come into our dispensaries in Dispensary in Colorado Springs. Come in for the most pure organic strain selection in Colorado. It's all hand-grown by the Stanley brothers, especially for our patients. So come in and visit us at our 2 locations, East Platte and West Colorado. And remember,
always be kind to each other.
And we're back on Overgrow the Radio on iCannabisRadio.com.
Welcome back.
That was Josh, the Stanley Brothers. I want to encourage everybody, if you don't already, to listen every night, really. We're filling up our schedule quickly. We've got a new show, iDab Radio, on Wednesday nights. I was in here last night for a dab. Put me down. I had to go to the hotel and relax. So I didn't stay for the whole show, but I met the guys and hung out with them a bit. Great show. Sexpot Radio, of course, the lovely Jenny Cush on Tuesday nights. Also the Stanley Brothers, American Weed Realm Radio that night. Anybody affiliated, knows a dispensary owner, the realm of caring. If you're not involved already, you should be. If you can't throw a little sweet leaf trim to a cancer patient.
Don't forget the cure.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, real quick, let's mention our sponsors. We actually picked up a new sponsor this week, We Grow Colorado. Our buddy Drew that was on last week, the week before that. Recently, he was
3
on
weeks
with us.
ago.
3 weeks ago. God, that's what vacation does to your mind, right? It screws you all up. But yeah, Drew's a great guy. He's going to start next week, actually, coming in for a little grow segment and teaching us a thing or two about planting seeds and making them grow. I'm excited. I'm an idiot when it comes to growing. I need all the help in the world. When my theory went from outdoor to indoor, I lost all knowledge and felt like a kindergartner again. So I look forward to learning from him, and you can visit them down in the Springs. You can also visit SoCo MMJ, which is my caregiver and my love and my place that, it's just my place to go. My zen place.
Your happy place?
My happy place, yes. Where I am zen. You guys where are you? You want to give your address?
We're at 2815 North El Paso in Colorado Springs.
Absolutely. And if you haven't had enough cannabis by that point, stop by the Dispensary. They have 2 locations, which you just heard on the commercial, so I'm going to leave that at that because I'll sound stupid. One's on West Colorado, and the other one's on the other side of town.
It's on Platte. East
On Platte, there you go. And, of course, Green Monster Glass, if you want to stock your shelves, or if you just need some good, reasonably priced glass. Those guys are great. Daryl's a great guy. They've been sponsoring for a while. So definitely check us out. If you guys are interested in sponsoring any of the shows here on iCannabis Radio, give us a shout, and we'll work something out. I think what we're going to do now is try to call Mr. Crouse and get him on the phone. My producer is hard at work right now doing that. And we get the cool little music and the ringing that we...
Bob got to get evacuated during his trial.
We're all in the evacuation club, aren't we? Yeah.
Poor guy.
Like he didn't have enough going on.
Yeah, he didn't. It wasn't enough to be up on felony charges.
And he got called for jury duty.
It's me. Leave a message.
And we got Bob's voicemail.
For his own jury.
Yeah.
His own jury.
Well, that's all right. We'll try him back in a minute because we got some stuff to finish up with Bubba. The Bongathon, sir. I want you to talk about the Bongathon because I've not been, and I'm going to go this year. I like to camp, I like the woods, and I like cannabis.
There you go.
So explain.
The 29th invitational, not annual, because we had a brief interruption for a couple years after Bustathon. But the 29th annual, or the 29th invitational Colorado Bongathon, August 3rd, location to be announced, probably somewhere near the South Park area. And tickets are $80. That's a weekend camping pass. You must be 21 years of age. You do not have to have a red card to participate in this event unless you want to enter the contests. If you enter the contest, you must have a red card and you must bring your own medicine to participate. I believe that the web address, I don't have that right on me right now, but it's the Colorado Bongathon. If you put it into a search engine, you will get to the website. There's no question about it.
You can Google just about anything these days.
Yeah,
and
you
find
should
it.
be able to get there pretty easily. I'm sorry, Chris, I forgot to bring the pass in so that I could give the website out.
Well, you know, I'll make you feel better that I sit on the board for the Colorado Springs Medical Cannabis Council, and the last time I had someone in studio, we went to shout out our website, and both of us got it wrong. So don't feel bad. We were quick to correct it, so they didn't kick us off the board for being newbies, but, you know, it happens. So,
We've got, it says bongathoninfo@gmail.com and 720-432-6188 for more information. And as I said, you can call me at 720-490-1857 if you need a ticket for the Bongathon, or if you need a Cannapass for the Cannabis Run. We can get both of those taken care of for you.
So are there any other events coming up that you're involved in? And if not, I got a couple questions about the Bongathon.
Always involved in events. We've got stuff going on all the time. I'm one of the people who helps organize monthly cannabis patient meet and greets around the state. And we're looking for places all the time that are cannabis friendly, where we can get patients together and have social events to bring them together, to ask questions, to learn things about the industry, about the plant, about the medication, basically just trying to make a community into a community. And with everybody supporting it, then we can all work together and we might be able to achieve some great things. And that's why I so much support what Pete's doing with the Cannabis Run. I mean, he's bringing together the businesses.
Are you a medical marijuana patient or interested in finding out how to become one? Contact Mile High Wellness, where your care is...
And we're back.
Yeah, and the Cannabis Run, it's just a greatly conceived event. It's all for charity. It costs the dispensaries nothing to get involved. He's bringing in patients and new clients to every one of the dispensaries. And as you're traveling around the state, you're spending your money in Colorado, and you're adding to the tourism dollars that are being spent in Colorado, which is something we're suffering very badly right now. So Pete's event could not have come together at a better time.
Absolutely. Well, and I think all of our guests tonight so far, you know, and Bob as well, the key right now in general with success in what we're doing is education. And, you know, we're all people who are doing that. The Bongathon, in my mind, is totally, or sounds like fun.
It is fun. It's an event intended to be fun.
Right. We have events from time to time, the meet and greets, the Bongathons, where, you know, the focus is kind of a little more lax. You're amongst other patients. You get to just hang out and enjoy life and enjoy some good meds. I guess my question first is, you know, and you don't have to be specific, but where is it held? As far as is it in the woods? Is it in a parking lot?
No, it's actually
where do I
held
pitch
on
my tent?
It's held on a really nice piece of private land, usually that's donated by the landowner or allowed to us to use for the weekend. And we go up, and under normal circumstances, we're allowed to set up fire pits and things like that, stages for the bands to play on. The one big tent where all the contests are taking place, and the contests are unbelievable. You've got the fastest gram, the fastest quarter ounce. Guy named Norm did it last year in something like 9 minutes and 7 seconds or something like that. Wow. Just unbelievable that someone has the capacity to inhale and exhale cannabis at that rate of speed. And
that's some long. I mean, I would like to see. What's his name? Michael Phelps. The swimmer. I'd like to see how fast or how he would do at the Bongo.
Well, it's funny that you should mention that, because I'm also involved in a thing called the Chronic Sports Network, and we have a T-shirt coming out next week that I'm not going to tell you the exact contents of it, but Michael Phelps is definitely part of it, and it definitely has to do with cannabis, and we've tied the Olympics into the legalization movement, because they've got London 2012 right now, and their slogan is, "We've got the Olympics in us." So we've changed their slogan to "Bong on 2012, we've got legalization in us." And that's part of the logos that are going to be on this T-shirt. So nice. Everybody that's listening, you're going to definitely want a copy of this T-shirt. And I can tell you that Rick Rosenkrantz, the designer, he did an awesome job. So those will be available sometime next week, as soon as I can get with the guys over at Dank and get them printed.
Very good. One other thing I want to ask you about, I know my friend Henry Hemp out in California has been involved in it for a while, is the 420 football. I didn't even realize we had 420 football here. So do you guys, is that something that we're doing here in Colorado?
Yeah, actually, the 420 football in Colorado has changed its name, and we're the Chronic Football League. We've teamed up with Chronic Magazine in Colorado to advertise the league, to give stats, to have a sports page, things like that. We still own, the guy named The Gunny and myself, and when the inventor of 420 football came into town with Henry Hemp, we were the first ones to hook up with them. And we hooked up with them, and we did their stuff for a while, but we're Colorado, and we're a little bit different. We're really hoping to promote the community out here, and we promote healthy playing of these games. And we've got some great rules. Everything's based on the seconds that you hold the hits in and things like that. So it's the Chronic Sports Network, Chronic Football, Chronic Hockey, Chronic Swimming, all kinds of chronic sports. And we'll be rolling them out, every week as we go into the fall.
Nice. So we'll keep our eyes on that. We'll
Absolutely.
talk to you
And the
again,
dispensaries
I'm sure.
have the ability to get involved by sponsoring their patients to play the games, because with the new rules with the MMED, a dispensary cannot donate to the game. They have to take care of their patient. Their patient then can be a member of the league, come and play in the games.
Nice.
And that we're not selling the merchandise or anything where you have to use our particular device to do something through. We want to promote people playing the games, getting involved with each other, meeting your other people that are in your same town, knowing, your dispensary and you've got your rival across town. Well, what a great way to settle that rivalry with a Chronic football game.
Right on, man. And we're, all about a little culture, a little fun. So we'll keep in touch. We'll talk again soon. We're going to get Bob on the phone, but first we're going to jump away for a really quick commercial break. So we'll be right back on Overgrow the Radio.
Peace.
Let's face it, rules and regulations are complicated, especially in the field of medical marijuana. Let Medical Marijuana 101 help you get through the compliance process. We can also explain to you your employment requirements, your employees, and your business. But our work doesn't stop there. Our experience in cultivation ranges from the design of grow rooms to the diagnosis and resolution of grow problems. Visit us at www.medicalmarijuana101.com or call 303-388-7706. That's 303-388-7706.
Are you a medical marijuana patient or interested in finding out how to become one? Contact Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern. Conveniently located on Hamden and Tamarack in the Whole Foods parking lot behind Proof of the Pudding. Mile High Wellness offers a wide variety of edibles, hashes, and some of Colorado's top strains. Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern. 3525 South Tamarack, Suite 110, on the corner of Hamden and Tamarack. 720-382-8516. Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern.
Are you a runner? Are you a runner who supports marijuana legalization? Run on Grass is a group of athletes actively seeking to change our marijuana laws. We speak the truth about cannabis, bringing the message through our feet to new ears. Check out runongrass.com to find out more about us, our events, and how to join up or how to sponsor a runner. If you're in the Denver area, please join us for runs or start a group in your area. Running not your thing? Any sport can do it. On grass. Runongrass.com.
Hi, Josh Stanley here from National Geographic's American Weed. I'm here with my brothers, and we've just recently put together a foundation in Colorado to allow for cancer patients and other patients of debilitating conditions to be able to get a hold of cannabis-based oil that's just about free of charge. I've just about had it with seeing sick patients suffer needlessly just because they can't afford the proper medication. That's what the Realm of Caring is going to change. Visit therealmofcaring.com. The website will be complete and up on 4/20 of 2012. But until then, please contact any of us Stanley brothers directly through email. You can get us at gratefuljosh@hotmail.com. Now come on, Colorado. We need to take care of each other. Join the Realm. That's realmofcaring.com. Thank you so much.
The law offices of Edson, Maton, and Matz provide criminal defense, medical marijuana defense, and advice about setting up and running medical marijuana centers, optional premises cultivation operations, and infused product manufacturing businesses throughout Colorado. With offices in Denver and Aspen, we can offer assistance throughout the entire state of Colorado. Give us a call at 303-831-8188. That's 303-831-8188. Or visit us online at warrenedson.com.
Hi, I'm Josh Stanley.
And I'm Jesse Stanley.
Two of the brothers here from National Geographic's American Weed, and we'd like to invite you to come into our dispensaries in Colorado Springs. Come in for the most pure organic strain selection in Colorado. It's all hand-grown by the Stanley brothers, especially for our patients. So come in and visit us at our two locations, East Platte and West Colorado. And remember,
always be kind to each other.
This is Adam Kokesh, and you're listening to iCannabis Radio.
I love my woman. She makes me cry sometimes, but don't they all?
You just like to cry.
I'm such a sensitive teddy bear guy. Adam Kokesh rocks. I miss his show. I used to watch his show on RT. It's funny, that I can get better news from Russia. Is it Russia Today? Than I can from any news network in our own country. Scripted crap. That's what most mainstream media is these days. So we're going to try Bob again. I think we'll get him this time. We texted him and roused him and told him to actually answer his phone.
Come on, Bob. We're excited.
Bob, as I said, Bob just beat Dan May. Him and Elisa both set a precedence. Bob for patients, Elisa for dispensaries and caregivers.
How many people did you have out in front of the courthouse when that decision was read? I mean, I
don't know. I was inside.
It's me. Leave a
really?
message.
We can't get Bob again.
We can't get Bob.
We'll keep talking, and Chris will just keep calling him over and over until he answers. But, I don't know. Elisa and I were inside. We got swept up in a big bear hug by Bob, and I don't remember. For about 5 minutes, I think we were stuck in that hug, and that was cool.
We were crying and laughing.
Hello?
Hello, sir. How are you?
Hey, I'm okay. How are you guys?
Yeah, I'm good. You must be up in the mountains where it's hard to get service, up by where I live, too.
Yeah, well, I'm in the mountains, so it may well be.
Very good. Well, we wanted to give you a shout here to close out our show because first, publicly, of course, we were there, Elisa and I, but, we want to congratulate you on kicking Dan May's rear end, if you will.
Oh, well, thank you.
So how's it feel to be a free man, Bob?
Oh, gosh. I don't really know that I can really answer that. It's nice not to have to, there is a release and a relief not having to check with judges to go and see my grandkids, things like that. But, there's still a road to go. There's evidence that I haven't gotten back yet and value for that. And there's still all of the same kinds of prosecutions continuing in the county and in the state as far as I can tell. So the fact that a judge has told both Dan May and John Suthers that their interpretation of a law that was was written 2 years after the constitutional amendment was passed, that their interpretation is unconstitutional, but it doesn't seem to make any difference to them. So, it's nice that I'm not facing jail time now, but it's too bad that that same insanity is going on in the area. So,
well, and we're gonna accompany you. We're gonna make a big event out of getting your medicine and finish you up. I know personally speaking, as a friend, I'm ready to have you back because you've got such a great energy that you add to our community as far as education and getting out there. And you come at people like I do with a smile and a word, and that's the kind of thing that needs to happen. The conversations, at the supermarket or wherever.
Well, you've helped so many patients, Bob. You've helped so many cancer patients find out what to do and where to go, and you're just such a great help to people in need. What's next for you?
There's a huge need out there. I haven't spent a lot of time being evacuated the same week that with the Waldo fire that the trial was going on, and then just getting back home and trying to recover a little bit and work on my health, work on healing. But as I go out around and talk with people, there's just a lack of medicine. It's everywhere I go, I hear people are running out of medicine, can't have access to medicine. I know that, we need to be growing more plants, so there's still an awful lot to do.
Well, yeah, I know we talked earlier as I was goofing off and picking up my free samples to judge, and, I've talked to the clinic, and I've talked to pretty much every dispensary I've been to so far, and, well, everywhere I go, I pitch the Realm, which is such a great organization, the Stanleys. I know they help both you and I out, and it is. I mean, they can't do it alone. It's got to be a group effort. If we can't help patients as an industry, the patients is the reason there is an industry. People making money off that have to give back. I mean, there's really, in my mind, no other alternative.
Right, I agree with that, and I think everybody's been giving in this industry as long as I've been in it, and unfortunately, a lot of what's being given is just being taken by the forces that we fight.
Sure.
It's just frustrating. It's all frustrating, but there's a lot of good stuff going on, and we got to always stay focused on the good stuff. Chaz Moore's got a birthday coming up here. He'll be 18 years old this month.
He does. Happy birthday, Chaz. There's a chance I might not be there this weekend.
That's going to be a fun celebration.
Yeah, so everybody knows that next Saturday at 5 o'clock at Union Station there here in Colorado Springs is a birthday party for Chaz Moore. I am Bill Smith, if you don't know his Chaz Moore name. And what a remarkable young man he is, and an inspiration for everybody. And, there's other good things that are going on. Audrey with C4 CPR, she's just, what a strong person we've got there, and is continually pursuing, trying to get information out of the district attorney's office and the police office about, what's been affecting patients. What does it take to get a search warrant, and why are bombs being blown up in patients' houses, and assault weapons being sent into neighborhoods where patients are known to live and children are playing, and the insanity of everything that's going on. And educating now, we've been able to identify that the district attorney down here in El Paso County, Dan May, as well as the Attorney General John Suthers, both have misinterpreted the law, and the district judge here has told them that their interpretation is unconstitutional. And so hopefully the two prosecutors that prosecuted me went ahead and said that a change is needed to be made, that they're willing to make adjustments. So at least there's two people from the district attorney's office that have recognized that there's mistakes being made, but that doesn't mean that the people that are running these organizations that work for us are understanding that they're not doing their job right, and they need to be held accountable for that. And we've got a long road to hoe. They're not going to be willing to do what the Constitution says to do, these people need to be fired. They're just employees, and they've been told now by a district judge that they're adjudicating unconstitutionally here in Colorado, and that means more than likely we've got political prisoners here in El Paso County. You know, it's just sad that the insanity that's going on out there, but these people either need to be trained right. That's our first job, is to give them a chance to do their job right. And in so many areas, they probably are doing a good job. But in the cannabis area, these people are just absolutely defiant of what the law says to do. And as employees, they're just employees of our state and of our county. They're no more than just any other employee that works for any other employer. And as employers, we've got a responsibility to, first of all, make sure these people know they're not doing the job right and teach them how to do it right. And if they're willing to do it right, then we can move on and take care of the patients. That's where we should be focusing our attention. But they still don't recognize us as patients. They don't even consider us patients. It's just a travesty. So we're probably going to have to figure out a way to remove them, and that's going to take a lot of effort and time and energy. But that's what we got to do. We got to do it.
I think the protest coming up in front of the office is a great idea. But as a board, we're actually going to offer formal workshops to CSPD and to VNI. A lot of what you mentioned, the questions that Audrey's posing, Elisa and I actually had answered here on the show. We attacked VNI over your guys' cases, and we asked those questions. Why the hell are you going into neighborhoods with bombs? Why are you, all the gamut of questions. And honestly, the responses we got were no response. I think therein lies the problem. We learn, or I've learned that, unfortunately, as much as I hate the system, I'll stand outside with a sign and yell at them. But really, to change things, I have to jump into that system, and I have to fix it that way. I can stand out there and yell shit all day, and they're going to ignore me. They're going to go about their business. If we go to them and we offer them, like you're talking about, the education, which we're working on currently, then when they deny that, then we go to the community and we say, well, we offered. Here they are spending this money, and we're also working, Bob, on finding out how much they spent on the recent trials to fail. So once we have compiled all this information, then we go to the community and the rest of the media, and we ask for answers. The people of Colorado Springs, as we talked earlier, they're very conservative. And when we throw this approach out there, it's going to wake them up as to, oh my God, why are we spending all this money? This has been legal in our state for over a decade now. It's time for people like Dan May to get with the program.
Or move to another state. If he wants to run a city or a county someplace where his rules are what apply and not the Constitution that the people have voted on, then he's welcome to go any place in the world and set up his own country and be his own king and have his own rules and do whatever he wants. But he works for us. And the people are outraged at this man. I meet people all day long that have to work for him, and they're saddened by what it is that he asks them to do. That ought not be the way that we run our community. We can do better than this. I mean, you can make a mistake. The man has made a mistake. The top dog in our county has is ignorant about what the law really is, and he's refusing to change anything about that. So as a community, we're already outraged. It's just a matter of executing the strategy. He has a chance to do the right thing. We will continue to try and give him help. And, for example, Stan Garnett, the district attorney in Boulder County, when he was finally educated and understood what the truth really was, and he began to implement policies in Boulder County over 3 years ago, they stopped arresting and prosecuting patients. I think it's a wonderful idea to give that to Dan May, but I don't believe the man. The man has lied to my face.
Sure.
So I think the man is we got to give him a chance. He's doing some things right, but my God, he's wasting money, and he's attacking innocent patients who are sick and need nothing more than just to have access to medicine. And he refuses to accept what his bosses are telling him is what his job is, and we're his boss, and if he's not going to make the changes, then we replace him. And we have a strategy for that. And the first one is, in El Paso County, is nobody votes for Attorney General, period. for district attorney. Dan May is running uncontested, so every patient and every supporter of cannabis needs to understand in November that when they go to vote, that voting for Dan May is a waste of time. He's going to be elected anyway, and when we recall him, every vote that is voted for in November, we need a quarter of that many votes to recall him the day after he's elected, and that's what we're going to do if he doesn't figure out that he's breaking the law.
Hey, Bob, can I write in Mickey Mouse?
No, you do not want to. You do not want to have a vote in that slot.
No, I was joking. That was a joke.
But understand the seriousness of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can't. I mean, Mickey Mouse may be able to do a better job, and maybe we'll run Mickey Mouse against Dan May when we recall him. But
yeah,
I'm
that was kind of the
serious
point.
About having every patient know not to vote for district attorney in El Paso County. Period.
And
we will replace him if we have to. This man is he's a Nazi.
And we're going to do a protest in front of the Nazis' office. When is that protest?
Yes, we are, with the purpose of educating him. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I believe it's July 30th.
Correct.
At 9 o'clock, I believe, out in front of Dan May's office in Colorado Springs. And so everybody should join us out there.
Yeah, I've got a...
This is huge for every patient needs to be on board here. The attack, first of all, on Elisa and caregivers and their misinterpretation of what a caregiver is, and then their attack on me and what a patient is. They just refuse to understand that a patient is a medical term. It's not a legal term. That the constitutional amendment was written for patients, meaning somebody that has a medical condition, and that cannabis is a medical treatment for it. It's a medicine for it. It's not a drug. It's not an illegal substance. It's legal in that context. And these idiots, Dan May and John Suthers, simply because of their arrogance and pride and I guess the Republican agenda of
Big
Pharma, law and order, which even Pat Robertson now has special programming on the 700 Club about the prisons in America, the privatization of crime in America, and 25% of the world's criminal population comes from America. Mm-hmm. And at the rate we're arresting our citizens, that if you're a family today with 3 small children, you can just plan on one of them being in jail within 20 years for nonviolent crimes and on crimes that are being prosecuted against people illegally here in El Paso County in Colorado. It's a travesty.
Well, it's a money-making business. We
we
privatize prisons on every level, so now it's a money-making business, and they have to feed the stockholders. And we all know our society caters to the rich, and the people that hold stock in those prisons are not you and I, Bob. So we're the people they want to put in those prisons. I think they would prefer about 80% of our population to be in prison, but that's my opinion.
Then they get to make the people in the prison slaves.
Sure.
Work them for nothing.
Pay them 10 cents an hour, make some license plates, clean some floors, do whatever, work for the state.
It's legalized slavery.
Yeah, it's really bad in our nation when we, the land of the free, the home of the brave, when we have China calling us out on our human rights. I mean, that's when, if you're a U.S. citizen and you see an article about China calling you out on human rights, the place where they shoot you if you have more than 2 boys, or 1 boy, or whatever the rule is with that, the children laws and all the crazy stuff that goes on.
The place where just 2.5 decades ago when I was in college, there was Tiananmen Square.
Right, yeah. Exactly. So, I mean, it's time to wake up, and you're right, Bob, in the fact that there are these idiots, I like that term, Dan May and John Walsh, who are, for some reason, unbeknownst to us and most of the population, continuing this reefer madness agenda against people like you and Elisa.
We're no longer the home of the free, we're the home of the brave.
Home of the enslaved.
Just home of the brave.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. You can't take that away from our citizens and our populace. We are a courageous population. We're also an easily steered population by TV, sporting events, mainstream, everything. Walmart, the list goes on and on. It's very important that we get things that happen like your trial, like Bob's trial, out so that the everyday average citizen knows this is going on and knows that we're wasting money on this. Bob, we're gonna run out of time in a few minutes, but what I want to touch real quick on what are you gonna do, because like I said, you've got that energy, and I know you're involved in VetsCan and a couple other organizations. Moving forward, after we help you get that medicine and everything done, what are your plans? You're going to stay active, I hope.
Oh, yeah. My first plan is to work on my health.
Sure.
I've still got cancer, and I've got good results. I took a blood test. I actually felt pretty good Monday, the first of this week, so I went down to the lab and had them draw some blood, and got the call today from them that the leukemia has dropped another 11%, so now it's down to the lowest level since I was diagnosed 5 years ago.
That's awesome.
That's wonderful.
And yeah, so it's 13,000. It's a drop of 60%. Over 60% of the leukemia is gone in my body. So, the medicine is working. The trial, we did allow, Dr. Bob, bless his heart, he's at a trial today and a trial tomorrow, testifying on behalf of patients about what's going on, and he was able to testify in my trial that cannabis cures some forms of cancer, and that's information that hasn't gotten out yet. And
Sure.
There's people all over the country that need the medicine that we're running out of here in Colorado because of the crazy rules and regulations and laws. It's just, we keep doing the best we can.
Absolutely. Well, we'll all be there fighting together.
I just want to thank you for standing up for patients and having the courage to take it to trial. I know how much courage that takes. It's not an easy thing to do, and I really admire that you did that, and it's something that I don't know that people appreciate enough.
Yeah, thank you. Now I can get that recommendation for a higher plant count and make my own oil. And feel safe about it.
Get those plants growing.
Yes,
need
sir.
More plants growing.
I might need some help with that, the whole bad back thing. Well, Bob, we'll keep in touch. If there's anything coming up that we're missing, you keep us informed, and we'll get you on to talk about it. Definitely let us know about the medication pickup, and we'll be there for that. We'll get that on the show as well.
There's a huge amount of stuff going on, so.
Absolutely, sir. Well, you enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll let you rest, and congratulations.
Congratulations.
Hopefully we're done for a little while, at least the big cases anyway, and we'll see if Dan May wakes up a little bit.
Hopefully, education is the key. Appreciate all of what you guys do, too. Thanks so much. And Elisa, it was easy for me. Mine only took 14 months. Yours took over 2 years.
All right. So
we'll talk to you guys later. Love you all.
You too, sir.
Love you, Bob.
All right, so we're going to get out of here in a few. I think the message from tonight is really that we have to stay active. We have to, as a community, get out there. We've got this thing where our state's selling our parks to the feds, where I won't have a chance to medicate anywhere when I go camping legally. These are the kind of things, the secret meetings where they want to sell our records, or not sell our records, but make them public. That, we have to be aware of these things. We have to move forward together as a community. No infighting, no animosity.
We have to stand together.
And we have to stay on top of these things.
We have to hold our representatives accountable.
Well,
at all times.
We
do.
So I guess until next time, just do us all a favor, and what Bubba just said, call your reps, write letters. Pay attention to these town hall meetings for the state park issue. It's huge. Make sure you make your presence known there, that this is not cool. We don't need the feds buying anything in our state. Until next time, get out there and talk it up, Colorado.
Register to vote.
We love you. We'll see you next time on Overgrow the Radio. Peace.
Peace.
Hi, I'm Rick Cusick from High Times Magazine, and you're listening to Cannabis Radio.
The clinic is proud to announce the 3rd annual Clinic Charity Classic Golf Tournament benefiting the Colorado MS Society. The tournament will be held at City Park Golf Course this coming August 11th. There will be some incredible prizes, including an opportunity to win a trip for 2 to Hawaii. The trip includes airfare, 8 days, 7 nights at the Ritz-Carlton Kapalua, including 4 rounds of golf and $1,500 spending cash. Thanks to the incredible support of Weed Maps, Hetty Glass, Rocky Mountain Hydro, T. Meyer and Stitch, Dixie Elixir, and MMJprinting.com, we're able to provide awareness to this incredibly difficult condition that so many Coloradans are suffering from. The event will be covered extensively by our favorite industry media outlets, Culture Magazine, The Hemp Connoisseur, Kush Magazine, and of course the amazing people at iCannabis Radio. Please register at thecliniccolorado.com or at any of our 6 convenient locations throughout the Denver metro area.
California's Attorney General has determined that the Repeal Cannabis Prohibition Act will save hundreds of millions of dollars from our overburdened justice system while creating hundreds of millions in new tax revenues from new sustainable jobs and industries that are friendly to our environment. But we can't do it without your help. We are seeking your donations to get on the ballot. Please go to repealcannabisprohibition.org to learn more about how you can help. It's time to end the war on cannabis and hemp in California. It's time to end the madness. Paid for by Sensible Californians Incorporated.
The law offices of Edson, Maton, and Matz provide criminal defense, medical marijuana defense, and advice about setting up and running medical marijuana centers, optional premises cultivation operations, and infused product manufacturing businesses throughout Colorado. With offices in Denver and Aspen, we can offer assistance throughout the entire state of Colorado. Give us a call at 303-831-8188. That's 303-831-8188. Or visit us online at warrenedson.com.
Are you a runner? Are you a runner who supports marijuana legalization? Run on Grass is a group of athletes actively seeking to change our marijuana laws. We speak the truth about cannabis, bringing the message through our feet to new ears. Check out runongrass.com to find out more about us, our events, and how to join up or how to sponsor a runner. If you're in the Denver area, please join us for runs or start a group in your area. Running not your thing? Any sport can do it on grass. Runongrass.com.
My name is Gary Johnson. Today I reach out to you, members of all political parties. I reach out to everyone with a vote and an axe to grind. From the Tea Party, the Constitution Party, the Green and Libertarian parties. I call out to all of you, including the disaffected and disillusioned among the Republicans and Democrats. Today there's a handful of people in Washington ruining America for 330 million of us. They've kept our nation in a state of perpetual war and increasing unsustainable debt. This small group has presided over the elimination of our Bill of Rights and the systematic dismantling of our freedoms guaranteed us under our Constitution. It is them we should be fighting, not each other. We the people will never agree on the small things, but let's agree on the big thing. Our leaders have blown it. If we don't get control of this ship together and fix it together, we all go down with it together. I ask you to join me in trying something that's never been attempted before in America. Let's put our parties and our differences aside one time. Be libertarian with me for one election. Together, we'll stop the spending and end the wars. Together, we'll rebuild our own roads, bridges, schools, and hospitals instead of building theirs half a world away. Together, we'll restore our industrial might and our economy. And if in 4 years we as a people decide we don't like peace, prosperity, and freedom, we can always vote tyranny back into office again. America is better and brighter than this. Be libertarian with me this one time, and I'll prove it to you. Live free.
Hi, I'm Josh Stanley.
And I'm Jesse Stanley.
Two of the brothers here from National Geographic's American Weed, and we'd like to invite you to come into our dispensaries in Dispensary in Colorado Springs. Come in for the most pure organic strain selection in Colorado. It's all hand-grown by the Stanley brothers, especially for our patients. So come in and visit us at our 2 locations, East Platte and West Colorado. And remember,
always be kind to each other.
You're listening to iCannabisRadio.com.
Hi, Josh Stanley here from National Geographic's American Weed. I'm here with my brothers, and we've just recently put together a foundation in Colorado to allow for cancer patients and other patients of debilitating conditions to be able to get a hold of cannabis-based oil that's just about free of charge. I've just about had it with seeing sick patients suffer needlessly just because they can't afford the proper medication. That's what the Realm of Caring is going to change. Visit therealmofcaring.com. The website will be complete and up on 4/20 of 2012. But until then, please contact any of us Stanley brothers directly through email. You can get us at gratefuljosh@hotmail.com. Now come on, Colorado. We need to take care of each other. Join the Realm. That's realmofcaring.com. Thank you so much.
Are you a medical marijuana patient or interested in finding out how to become one? Contact Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern. Conveniently located on Hamden and Tamarack in the Whole Foods parking lot behind Proof of the Pudding. Mile High Wellness offers a wide variety of edibles, hashes, and some of Colorado's top strains. Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern. 3525 South Tamarack, Suite 110, on the corner of Hamden and Tamarack. 720-382-8516. Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern.
Let's face it, rules and regulations are complicated, especially in the field of medical marijuana. Let Medical Marijuana 101 help you get through the compliance process. We can also explain to you your employment requirements, your employees, and your business. But our work doesn't stop there. Our experience in cultivation ranges from the design of grow rooms to the diagnosis and resolution of grow problems. Visit us at www.medicalmarijuana101.com or call 303-388-7706. That's 303-388-7706.